A chance to be able to play in the international playoffs. That is what this series is going to mean between Quincy Crew and SG Esports. The loser of this series, and again, if it does full-on loser 0-2, there's a possibility of a tie. But the loser of this series is very likely eliminated, Kyle. In fact, I may say is eliminated just because right now the current standing is both these teams have 2 wins. Fnatic, who is a step above them, has 4 wins. So there's still 2 series to be played for both of these teams, but this is kind of a do-or-die situation.
And 10 seconds remaining. Sorry, I'm just giggling because I know the term that Quincy Crew used is mega last. Nobody wants to finishing last. You know, that sucks.
13th through 16th last. That's
mega last.
Mega last. The 17th and 18th spot. Yeah, that's it's gonna feel pretty bad.
I don't know if this was intentional or not, but fate decreed that you'll actually, viewer at home, be listening to the commentary of a man who has been mega last, and I can confirm it's not fun. You don't even make it to the prize pool distribution graph. Now you do.
Now you do.
But
it's a huge difference, Kyle.
Yes.
How much of a difference is there?
$500,000. The entire
$500,000 for a 2-game series. That's what we're looking at right now.
To me, this is almost like TI finals or TI finals. Like, obviously, it's going to be your maximum hype, but this gets pretty damn close to me, especially when you consider like these 2 teams, right? NA and SA probably most impacted by the difficulties that the pandemic posed. These 2 squads have been grinding and grinding. Quincy Crew, notably, you know, these guys, no sponsor, no organization. Their manager moved in with the team captain. And this is it. This is to stave off elimination.
Yeah, I mean, this is Quincy Crew. This exact iteration is different than the previous years, but the previous years, Quincy Crew, or what they were known as when they were sponsored by Newbie, then they were VGJ Thunder, right?
Storm,
which one of those. They did very well at the TI group stage, and their downfall was they did well enough to get upper bracket. They run into OG, and they just lose 2 series in a row. They lose against OG, and then they lose against whoever is waiting for them in the lower bracket. This year has been very bad for them, Kyle. Why do you think that is?
So we were talking storylines, but I legit saw that AA coming. We'll discuss why momentarily. But I don't know. Honestly, I will say it feels like they don't have the same confidence. You're right. Like, this was an upper bracket team 2 years in a row.
Yep.
They lost to the TI champions twice in a row in the upper bracket. Like, this is not a squad I think many people expected to be fighting for mega last on the final day of group stage. They had upper bracket aspirations.
5 seconds remaining.
Their drafts have seemed, you know, it's I think, like, in a way very similar to Alliance, where they have tried to adapt to the meta that's developed here at TI, but they don't look comfortable with it. So they're torn between, okay, should we draft stuff that seems good right now, but we don't play it very well, or we're going to stick to our comfort that people have researched and, you know, we've revealed throughout the seasons. You know, Alliance with their DK, Quinn with his Spirit Heroes.
Right.
So I don't really know. TI is a weird tournament, honestly, because there's no other event where you play such a high volume of games.
Yep.
And also consider that I believe like groups are drawn in a way to ensure regional diversity. So you play 3 matches over the course of a day against 3 different regions. You know, none of them are yours.
Mm-hmm.
How are you supposed to prepare for that, right? There's also much longer time in preparation for this event, which I think is something really cool. There's this long break, I think primarily to foster optimum competition. You get that month of scrims, the boot camp, for at least 3 weeks beforehand. Nobody really knows what people are going to play. Their Dota buff from DPC doesn't mean anything. That was what, back in May?
Yep. Yep. As commentators, we're intimately aware with how little we actually know about the teams until they start playing games. And I imagine the teams, they obviously have a step up in that regard since they scrim around. They
10
probably
seconds remaining.
even maybe hear about what other teams are, maybe
5
not exactly
seconds
what they're
remaining.
doing, but how well they're doing. They have an idea of those sorts of things, but again, you don't really know exactly what's going to happen until you start playing these officials. And we've heard plenty of times where teams do poorly in scrims leading up to a tournament, and then they just end up finding something magical. OG, that happened to them at TI9, I believe. They were losing all of their scrims.
Yeah.
And we've heard teams just dumpstering scrims. Virtus Pro being a great
Yeah.
example. It just seemed to do incredibly well in scrims before the tournament, and then
we
the
were-
officials come out and they don't do anything.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, and I was joking with Sumel. Like, they went 2-2 yesterday, right? But
Yeah.
the 2 wins OG got were freebies. And it was primarily a product of the ease of execution of the draft and the relative power level. I always think the best example of this is a Drow lineup. The old Drow, more so.
Yeah.
Where if you just like kind of got like it's a Drow lineup. You know how it works. I'm ahead, you can't kill my Drow, and suddenly we just deal twice as much damage as you do and you lost. Same goes for these easy to execute concepts like Mag Jug, or the favorite was buff the Luna, Luna kill building, kill all.
Yeah.
And I think that's another struggle for both of the teams we see here on our screen, where they've been playing very difficult types of Dota. Like, it really feels like Quinn is not just necessary that he has comfort and a
10
favorable
seconds
matchup, but
remaining.
if he doesn't get like the right rune spawn, he's going to have difficulties influencing the
5
game the way
seconds
that he would
remaining.
like. Whereas if you were just playing a more conservative style, like, again, I think Mag Jug is a perfect example. Thompson was just feeding. Didn't matter. He's got Sumel 5K, 6K ahead of the game. But let's dive into this specific draft. So AA is a concept, just deletes Wisp Gyro.
Yes.
You're typically going to be playing this like high sustain style. I
Quincy
think it
Crew's
was.
turn to pick.
Jeez. I think it was Insania. I don't remember who it was. It was somebody from that last ESL summer event discussing how Gyrocopter really likes playing with sustain, and I would agree, because you have to get up close and personal. You
Yeah.
want to use your body, have Aghanims proccing and dealing these extra auto attacks.
10
So
seconds
AA
remaining.
removes this Satanic idea from you, and obviously it will prevent any sort of
5
sustain
seconds
help from the
remaining.
Wisp. So it's off meta, but I think it's perfect in this sort of game.
Yeah, and then they went for another off-meta hero, which I'm not sure if I like as much, but it is another counter to IO Gyrocopter, the
Yes.
Centaur pickup.
Indeed it is.
Grabbed 4 times so far in the group stage, only won 1 of those games.
I don't like the hero, but I think SG Esports with the bans on Sand King Tide sort of put Quincy
10
in a rough
seconds
spot.
remaining.
Because, like, what other offlaner do you pick, right?
5
I'm surprised
seconds
they don't go
remaining.
for a Mars, to be quite honest, but perhaps a little spooked by the low win rate of the hero. Mars,
30%, 26 games. Yep.
when JT and IG, and I think JT has won at least 3 or 4 games on it, so
Yeah.
it's a really bad hero if you remove IG. And Quincy, I mean, they're going to stick. I like this. Just give Quinn his comfort. End of the day, I don't know how meta this draft looks, but Ember AA in this game looks very strong. Snapfire, yeah, I mean, to SG Sports kind of going a little more flavor of the tournament, and they honestly have their own notable storylines. Like I've been cheering for Tavo since like 2016. ADR, I think there's still a clip of Evo Plus giving his very emotional breakdown of how hard Adriana has tried, how many teams, how many years to
Quincy
get here,
Crew's
this
turn
moment.
to bat.
Storm Spirit.
And he'll be playing one of his signatures, the Storm Spirit. I actually love the fact that, you're playing for elimination, and now we've got Ember versus Storm, which I think is, it's a cool matchup in the laning phase, but it's like throughout the game, right?
10
Like these
seconds
heroes
remaining.
are just dueling with each other. What was the match we watched yesterday, was
5
it? Where
seconds remaining.
there was like the bait of the rune, and like the Storm didn't go for it because he knew he was going to get slighted and the rune might get stolen. What game?
Yeah. I don't actually remember that, but yeah, they were both just sitting there waiting for the other person to make their move. And
That was a lot of fun. Like it's just one of those matchups. Like it's just so high skill, right?
10 seconds remaining.
And it's a nice pick in this spot because you're going to be able to
5
potentially
seconds
murder the
remaining.
Monkey King hiding in the trees
Quincy
or
Crew's
find the
turn to
AA.
ban.
You know, thinking about it, I'm somewhat surprised Quincy let it through when you consider Wisp Storm, I think, was the most common partner pairing in the opening. And you have an AA, right? Storm is probably your best hero up against you.
10 seconds.
Adriano
remaining.
hasn't been playing a whole lot of
SG
Storm Spirit this
Esports, turn
season,
to
so
ban.
maybe that is part of the reason. But Adriano is also an Ember Spirit expert, so he's gonna take the best matchup that he can get, and he feels like that's Storm Spirit.
I feel like that's, like if you play one Spirit, you play them all.
10
Yeah.
seconds
Right?
remaining.
They're all like very mobile heroes, very burst
Crew's
heavy.
turn to pick.
Like who's the like Earth Spirit is the most different from the other three because he's not a traditional
Yeah.
mid, but he can still be played as a mid. Last pickup here, gonna be a carry for Yawar.
10 seconds remaining.
What's left?
SG Esports turn to
Gonna go for the Spectre.
Okay. This is this trio of heroes, Ember, Spectre, and AA, I am a fan of.
Yep.
Just because you got this global mobility and control mixed with high damage.
10
This was
seconds
also a combo
remaining.
that OG used back at TI with the Centaur in addition. However, that
5
was with a
seconds remaining.
kind of different game concept in mind. You know, the Aghanims applying a ton of damage reduction to the Spectre. Dispersion damage is dealt pre-reduction.
Yeah.
So you just do this massive AoE.
Choose your hero.
SG will scoop up the Mars. This, the thing is, there's all these offlaners that are banned out, so there really isn't much left. This hero might not be good, and they kind of needed some real catch, but I thought an Underlord might be forthcoming, just really strong in this game. But at the same time, then you might just swap the Monkey King into the lane, and even a support, you're going to have a really easy time zoning. KJ will take the Wisp, the Core, the Snapfire.
Yawar has only lost one game on Spectre this season, including this group stage, because I believe this is the first time they will have played the Spectre
seconds
for the
remaining.
TI-10 group. So it definitely feels like two very
5
different
seconds remaining.
ideas about drafting, and I'm going to assume, by the way you were talking, that you prefer Quincy Crew's draft. Not necessarily for anything that's involving like the hero differences and like how the drafts match up against each other exactly, but it seems like to me Quincy Crew has gone to comfort for them and what has gotten them to this point here at TI-10, and
Yeah.
not necessarily what's meta. And SG is going very meta. IO Gyrocopter has been run a lot here. Snapfire is one of the most picked supports in the game. Same goes with Mars. Funny enough, many of these heroes actually have a low win rate. IO
Yeah.
Gyrocopter and Mars all around 30% or so.
Indeed. It's really, I think, going to come down to the supports. And I feel like more than any other TI I'm watching, and I just feel like supports are just straight up winning games. Like IG yesterday, when Kaka's Lion was just single-handedly dumpstering.
Yeah, he was winning all three lanes.
Yeah. And I look at this and I think, okay, if AA dies at the start of a fight, I mean, SG have gotten the bag. If he has the optimal positioning, gets off a big ice blast, and perhaps even some vortexes. I've seen some weird AA builds. I think it was I can't remember who it was. It's so tough to keep
Oh
track
yeah,
of who's
the
playing
zero,
what.
zero
Zero
3
4
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that build.
No points in cold feet, just spamming vortex to give that damage assist.
Yeah.
For battle.
It was definitely an interesting one. We are now one of the things we talked about at the start of this was the fact that it's different than the DPC, right? Because you're playing all of these international matches and you're playing them in a short period of time. this is something that both these teams are maybe a little bit more comfortable with each other. South America versus North America. This has happened time and time again. They will have scrimmed against each other a lot leading up to this TI. Tavo, rebuke onto 5 to be able to push them away from him, but he is still surrounded and will still be giving up the first blood. They're going to try and give it to Quinn. Leslau takes the last hit instead. Quinn left him with like 5 health, and Leslau's like, okay, you didn't do enough, so I'm going to take it instead.
Okay, but notably, so you could see Quinn, he was thinking about whether or not he wanted to skill chains.
Yeah.
It's not as punishing as it is in some matchups, because typically you're going to want the early point just because you're playing against Storm, but it will impact his laning phase a little bit. Technically, you know, because you can always slight dodge the remnants, and you obviously want Flame Guard to shove lane into Storm, but either way, you're going to be okay. Nice move from Quincy to grab first blood. But they also did skill stun first on MSS, which I think you do most of the time anyway to confirm archers, but won't be able to trade as well at the top.
Yeah.
But what was the question you asked right before that fight?
I don't remember, actually.
Oh,
I just was saying that both of these teams are familiar with each other.
Oh, yeah, the massing of games. I really think that's a huge aspect of why TI is so tough. Because, like, if you imagine even the DPC season, right? You're playing 1 match a week.
Yep.
Your region, you know them intimately. And here it's like just games. Like, we can barely keep up. We're just talking about them. You don't see how much prep is going into these drafts, how much teams are iterating on the concepts and like trying to balance, okay, what are we good at? What's working? What are they going to do? There's so many warring concepts in the minds of each and every player and captain.
Alrighty, things not going so hot for Quinn in the mid lane. Pushed underneath his tower and missing a lot of CS there. Adriano doing a good job, as no doubt these players met each other multiple times in pubs and scrims. Quinn quite notorious for his pub antics, let's say.
The thing I found really interesting is, you know, I played a bunch of games leading up to TI. You really did not see as many, like fast bottle is every game TI. Like, you're getting bottle before 2 minutes no matter what. So you typically see this build exactly, like a couple of tangos and a fairy fire, and that's it. Or sorry, branches. You know, no null talisman, anything kind of build, no circlets. And I think it's just a product of like TI, right? Because if you don't want to get crushed, and if he gets bottle, gets both runes, you've just completely lost your lane, and you cannot allow that under any circumstances. You'll see both players.
So you think it's like risk management, basically?
Exactly, yeah. You'll take that chance in a pub, right? Yeah, whatever. You know, I lost my lane. TI, you don't want to be in a scenario where you're just getting owned.
Dude, look at him. 10-2 compared to the 6-0. He is really taking it to Quinn right now. Quinn's going to fight back, though, and do a lot of damage. 40R. Of course, the water runes are up, and they should be able to get one apiece here.
Yep. And because they both get a rune, now it'll be more about trading mana. You'll probably see 40R, 80R looking to farm easy camp. MSS doing some rotation. What is he doing down here?
I'm not entirely sure because
where's he going?
It's not like water runes are up.
Just an excursion to the river.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Centaur can kind of deal with the abuse of Gyrocopter decently well. They're going to jump onto this Gyrocopter here and try and take him out. The Fair Fire being popped by KJ is probably just enough to keep Costa BLA alive. You could see it was pretty close. Theolacor, meanwhile, almost dies here in the bottom lane. LOA, also known as SVG, is going to die to the spear if it lands, and it does. Tavo, right through the heart of the Ancient Apparition.
Hits him with the tip, too.
Yeah.
This is, you know, I don't see Quincy crew really ever spam voice lines. I'm starting to think maybe that's part of the problem. And I think momentum is going to be critical. Both of these teams probably suffering from a limited level of confidence. You know, you're here
for sure.
You're what, 2-10, 2-8, both teams. It doesn't feel good. So I think that if you're Tavo, you know, he's a vet. Keep the energy high. It's going to be really important. The first team to tilt, likely the one that loses.
Fight for the water runes here. 40R is a little bit low here, and is going to be caught as MSS managed to jump over to the other side of the mid lane, came through top, and will manage to get a very important kill. Theolicor denies the water rune from Quinn, but he could just as easily get the other one.
Yep. This is Quincy crew. You know, Quinn, he needs you to check his runes for him. It is quite important, as he will remind you if you ever queued up into him. And this is all helped out, though. It might have not been intended, but Les Lau getting the first blood means that he's had this ring of health since like 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
And Mojo is free to just ditch him, right? Like even this harass, it's not nearly as problematic when you can just.
And look at it, like KJ's taking so much damage from the retaliate. He actually has to be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
You could see Leslau. If KJ steps a little too far forward, Mojo would pounce, and they might be able to kill the IO.
He's going to have a Vanguard at 5 minutes, which is just kind of nuts.
This is going to be really good for him. Of course, Leslau, the new addition to Quincy crew, the Brazilian player, which is probably why they're spamming, and they have it in their team pack, apparently. A Portuguese line, since they are playing against SG, the Brazilian squad of their own. Leslau has been around. One of the few South American teams who's actually done a little bit of region hopping. Has been quite adamant in saying that he doesn't feel like he's actually a Brazilian player per se. He doesn't really view regions in a special way. He just wants to be able to play with good players. And he's found a home on Quincy crew this season.
He really helped elevate them as well. I feel like it was really tough for the squad to replace Snake King. And Leslau. I like how he just kind of accepted the meme as his new name, but
yeah, Big Lelis.
Yeah, this was a squad like they beat EG in that second DPC season, right?
Yeah. Oh, he also had that period of time where he played for Ninja's Pajamas, stood in for Beast Coast, right?
Very tense so far. You can kind of feel the hesitancy, like both teams just really trying to maximize the EV. No crazy dives, insane aggression.
Yeah, nothing about this game for either team feels like loose or even fun. Both of them know what's at stake here. Tavo not going to be rooted by the cold feet, but will take a lot of damage and pushed out of lane. Such a great line from Sunset.
The 7 people who bought it all agree.
KJ getting some stacks. The king of jungles, as he's known. But MSS is going to be able to scout out some of this, and no doubt they're going to try and make a move at some point in time. Maybe not right now, but everyone knows the importance of trying to shut down this gyrocopter stack farming.
A little bit, Quinn, I think, is a bit tense. Like, he just did a bottle recycle, but you'll typically see people, come back full mana and, have already flame guarded, And he was only 80% mana before using spells when he came back in.
I mean, I've been watching him miss a lot of CS, to be honest. A little bit of it's just, a bit of bad luck. Sometimes you just leave a creep with, 2 health or something, but I feel like a lot more of it is just nerves.
I mean, this is... I think because the thing about TI, I like the term mega last. Nobody wants to just go home from groups.
Yeah. You work so hard for not just a full year, but 2 years at this point in time to get here.
It's also because bracket, you always have this sense of magic, right? Of what could happen. There's been some pretty legendary lower bracket runs after all. And you consider you have chances to prepare, day off tomorrow. You see, okay, we're going to go play a BO1 against these guys. It's a different kind of Dota. You can game plan, you can prep. We've discussed the madness of groups. And the bracket stage is much more like a traditional Dota tournament. TI groups is very unique within Dota. There's no other tournament that has anything like this.
Yeah. I think that Sentry, am I wrong, JJ? I think that Sentry could spot both wards. First rotation coming out. Spectre actually popping the Haunt here, but wasn't able to jump to the illusion in time. Still has a chance, though. as maybe he just feels like he's got nowhere to go. The Haunt's gone now, and he's dead. Adriano very happy with this rotation. Is going to net him a kill on the carry, as well as pick up the 5 position and captain of Quincy crew.
Was there really nowhere he could go?
I guess not. He definitely had a second there where he could have haunted somewhere.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Huh. Well, unfortunate there. Really nice movement. I feel like Tavo is just beasting right now. Like, he's making plays, right? It feels like even though he was the one who got first blooded, it just did not affect him whatsoever. Nice dive from Quinn. They'll pick up the Older Core.
And they will repel the push coming in at bottom lane as well.
I'll tell you though, dude, Quinn's movements are really just strange to me. Like, he had a DD still and like Flame Guard ticking, but he went to recycle. He has a Remnant up, but he didn't go back to it. He's walking back to mid. I suppose afraid of Storm in the vicinity, but he still had 2 Remnants. I don't know, just strange watching his movements. I've watched a lot of Quinn.
It's not a move full of confidence. This is somebody playing slow and scared, perhaps. LOA going to be dove once again by 4DR. This is going to be a constant battle, right?
Yeah.
Storm Spirit, you said they need to be able to catch the Ancient Apparition. Storm Spirit is one of the best heroes to do that, and LOA is going to have to find a way to hide himself from the Storm Spirit and get good Ice Blasts in.
Dire's middle tower.
Look at the Vanguard hood. Hello, Max return. This is the old Centaur.
Yeah, he's going to just show up, and hey, this is kind of one of those unique situations. Dragon Knight's kind of like, they're going to go for it. They're going to relocate. They're going to all in onto this Centaur, and they've got so much damage that they do manage to overwhelm him. Quinn does what he can there. Tavo gets a little bit low, but they're not able to fully commit to this one. Now Quinn actually jumps and dodges the cookie. That was a close call. Tavo very low. MSS wants to be able to hop to some trees, but they've all been cut down by the arena.
Just, I don't know, I gotta say, like, I think SG, even though they're a slight, behind in the net worth, they're
making moves with confidence.
Yeah, like they're playing Dota right now, and Quincy crew, just a little concerned. I mean, Tauke, that was a little.
Maybe too much confidence, Tavo, but he's gonna try for it anyway. It's gonna set up a fight of some kind. 40R comes in, tries to go for the Ancient Apparition, but the Stampede does allow Quincy crew to be able to disengage. They get the mid tower. That's what they wanted all along.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tavo, my boy. Look. He's like, I'm baiting. I've got a big stick, but no arena, no call down. Like, at a point, I think you gotta just let the tower go. Like, the first defense I really like. They just blew up the Centaur. Felt like Quincy were just not prepared for that externality.
Yeah, they said.
But then he comes back. Like, you're not killing him again. You already used pretty much every spell you had.
Yeah, they blew everything. They blew kisses. They relocated into it. Storm had a long zip. They had arena spear. There wasn't an ultimate that wasn't used in that bit of action.
That's a big death for Tavo, because you got the main issue, I think, with Mars so far in this tournament, and why I think JT specifically has been successful. He's always getting that power level increase before Blink, right? And he's done it in different ways. Armlet in one, Meteor Hammer in another. A lot of other Mars are doing what Tavo's doing and just rushing Blink. But look at the net worth, right? Leslau with Vanguard Hood. This isn't just about survivability, it's about staying on map. He's going to continue to accelerate. He's going to farm. He's going to be able to spam double edge off cooldown.
Creep waves are typically the fastest way for a hero to farm,
yeah.
Unless you're doing some sort of ancient stack. And we watched that kill again there as they just all in on the Centaur, but it did leave everybody low, most notably Tavo.
Yeah, and this is the concern where Centaur will likely stay tied with like top net worth heroes in this game.
Yeah.
Tavo will fall off. And he'll also be requiring to set, hang on. The reload's
go
coming.
Straight for Coast of Belay, see if they can blow him up. And the relocate out. He's ticking. He's ticking.
Raindrop.
Oh, that is enough. They get the kill. They all end on it really nicely. MSS. Orbit Corruption slows down Tavo a decent amount. The relocate back in. KJ, nothing you can really do about that one. Oh, he managed to jump away, but he's still in minimum range of the Older Core with the kisses going out. Leslau going to be targeted here. They may have enough damage as eventually they're going to be able to throw out a spear. Leslau Nothing he can do here. Tavo giving him a nice little wave goodbye.
That is huge.
Quinn might go for this. He double damage runs out, actually, and he's low on mana.
This is just a tense game, man. You can feel the pressure these teams are under.
Yeah, 100%.
It really, based on the plays so far, I just don't see this being decided until some huge clash around Roche. It's just going to be maybe trading kills back and forth, but it's just going to come down to that one move, right? Games of Dota like this, you know, it's bad enough when you're just playing Dota. Like, this is hard. But when you know the stakes, like, legitimately, this is TI Finals. I think it's more nerve-wracking than TI Finals. Because then it's like, you know, you made it. It's at least fun.
Yeah,
like,
you're confident in what you've done if you've made it to the TI Finals.
Yes.
Here, these guys, they've been suffering the entire time, and they don't know what to second-guess. They don't know what to believe in.
Yeah. SG, you're not even just playing for yourselves. You're playing for your whole region.
Yeah.
Thunder Predator, already knocked out. You do not want to see both groups losing a South American squad.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about how the DPC has helped given a lot more experience to some of these regions who typically haven't been able to get multiple teams at these international lands. First time South America has been able to have 3 teams at TI. And if SG were the beatable ones to be eliminated alongside Thunder Predator, then, you know, the community would just go back to looking at South America as being a one-region team, you know, Beast Coast.
Tavo, you can see he's got the blink, but very tough to just make things happen. That was a nice setup. They had died top, but that was because, but Mojo had placed that ward, which saw that movement coming, so Quincy knew to prepare. The Orchid reveal is nice. They really want to make something happen. They're going to camp top room, but good smoke from Quincy. They're coming for him.
Maybe it's best for SG that the rune does spawn bottom, because if they went for the top rune, they would have run into 5 here. They're going to grab a haste rune. Smoke's going to break on the low ground. Not the best place for that to happen. The Orchid's going to go out there, immediately going to go for the spear and blow up Quinn. The Ember Spirit's dead, but the Storm Spirit is going to be joining him into the grave. At the same time, they are inside of Wukong's command. They deal with the Monkey King in time, and it looks like Tavo is going to be just fine. Lesla is going to be chased down. He is tanky, but SG, they don't necessarily lack in damage. The Spectre Ultimate's going to go out. They're going to try and fight this one. They're focusing down this Centaur, but Yawar realizes there's nothing he can do. They don't have any damage on the side of Quincy crew.
Oh my god, man.
Once their Ember Spirit's dead, and
what?
they've already used their Ice Blast, that's it.
I mean, Quinn, like, there's 2 ways to play this, okay? Your Ember Spirit, you're leading the charge. Your smoke breaks. I think a lot of players in this tournament pop Flame Guard, Remnant up, right? You're looking for the fight. That's the goal.
Get vision, see what's going on, yeah.
But to walk up the hill, not use Flame Guard, like,
Yeah.
you know that they're there.
Yep.
Oh. Quincy just looked a little lost, man. Like, they're going to need to shape up. Nice fight from SG. They had a huge timing with the Aghanims on the gyro plus the Orchid, but, you know, they're gifted that kill. That whole fight, really. Like, you know, you're walking up as a squad underneath the ward. We're going to watch it one more time. Like, Quinn's just straight up dead. Doesn't get a spell off. And then look at the damage. Like, there's a call down perfectly overlapped with, or like a Venn diagram of sorts with the Mars Arena. You lose all your... And then Yawar with that ultimate, like, at the end of the fight.
Yeah, when the fight is definitely over, you're not killing anybody. Like, Lesdal's tanky, but they don't do any damage. Relocate. Looks like they thought they were going to catch Quinn, but he was fast enough to jump to his Remnant before he got Orchid. They're going to go for the Gyrocopter because they relocated up to top lane. They know the Gyrocopter's alone. Now KJ comes back to where the Gyrocopter was, finds that his carry is dead, and a double kill for Yawar. A big change of fate for Quincy crew, because this game was looking a little awkward for them for a bit.
Indeed. Man, it's a... I keep saying it, but just... I'm so happy I'm in this chair, not one of theirs.
Yeah.
Like, because both of these teams, I think, it's not just that they're, like, bottom of the group, whatever, but it's that they've underperformed. And I personally had very high expectations for Quincy Crew. I think SG, for me, more of a question mark, but I know that they've got potential. I've played against these guys a long time.
Chasing after the Mars. He's got allies closing in. There is. Oh, he actually got the chains on a hero he didn't know was there. The Storm Spirit gets caught. He is going to zip through the Monkey King. Happy bit of fate. Nice blind stun from MSS. Does manage to get the Snapfire kill. So a simple Mars turns out to be much more than that, because that was a dominating kill streak on Theodore for 376 gold.
Yeah, that was huge. Sick arena. I mean, Tavo, he breaks the tree on Mojo. Otherwise, I think Storm just straight up dies. But because he got stunned by the drop down, he wasn't able to get a Q off. No slam. Now, the one thing is, Gyrocopter is still the strongest hero in this game. He'll have BKB momentarily. The person to watch in these fights is actually LOA, because if he doesn't get an ulti off on Gyro, like I don't think you kill him. Like he's just, there's a mech wisp behind him. He's going to not just survive, but you know, the combination with the new overcharge is just so strong because of the spell amp. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting not just like massive attack speeds, all these flak attacks get rattled off, but it's 16% spell amp on the ulti, on the Qs, on the rockets. Nice single haunt up top. Tavo just completely alone here.
They're going to use the haunt to slow him down a little bit extra. As they're actually chasing behind the tier 2 tower. Quincy Crew, now they're really moving.
Yes.
They're going to be able to catch up to Theodore. Again, he used the Essence Ring. It's rather tanky, but eventually will die. Quincy Crew beginning to move like the team that they kind of have molded themselves after, OG, right?
Yeah.
This is definitely different than the NA style, but it's what Quincy Crew has had success is they try and play like OG. They try and take that early mid tower. They make fast moves to the side lanes, and it's beginning to
look a lot like Christmas.
For them. SG, not so much, but we're still waiting on the BK.
Yeah.
That's a huge timing. And that can turn everything around.
The thing is, though, Cap, they've had one. Gyro's got a BKB and 1,000 gold. That was what I was about to say, because SG, like, they have to play a very timing-based game. And right now, even though a couple of the moves were misguided, it's really been Quincy just dictating everything that's happened.
Yeah.
They had that one reload top that backfired, but you know the Quinn juked. Other than that, we really haven't seen them make a move. Top is going to be where they play now, but it's part of the trouble with this Mars hero, right? Where he's kind of your sole playmaker in this game. Sure, Storm might be able to find some solo pickoffs, but you've got a vision advantage on the side of Quincy and no real great targets. Spectre and Centaur, super tanky. Quinn has a Yules. There's no real follow-up. It's going to be able to prevent him from remnanting out. Oh, here comes the smoke for smoke again.
And again, they are on the low ground and going to find it pop. They get the instant Orchid. They're going to be able to get the follow-ups here again. It doesn't actually land on the Ember Spirit. He gets himself Yules off and will be able to turn around with the Flame Guard. Tavo stuck in here. Costabila is going to bail him out. BKB Gyrocopter just charging forward and allowing the rest of his team to be able to retreat. But now that BKB is down, a poke from Quinn, holding them in place, seeing if they can find another opening to engage. But both teams will lick their wounds and back away.
Not the most elegant of executions from either side. Leslau MVP of the fight by just tanking the spear for Quinn. I believe Quinn dies if not.
Yeah.
Again, though, just like kind of, you know, the storm is zipping, and we didn't see a flame guard come out. Once again, it's another scenario where, you know, smoke is breaking. And
also, why are they smoking in the river? The way I describe the river, it's the lowest low ground in the game.
Yeah.
And if you played a little bit of Dota, you know how important the high ground is. Quinn is going to run headlong into, okay, maybe he's going to be bailed out by MSS. He will. That one Boundless Strike stun, and he gets out. Quinn almost just fed himself over to SG. Ooh, an Ice Blast that. If he caught 40R, maybe Mojo just suicides in there.
Man, this game. Like, good players, but you can just see, like, I feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Like, it's palpable. And
you could definitely see there are some people, I think MSS, Leslau, I think Costabile, Like they're doing all right. Tavo even like he's dying, but like it feels like he's playing a little bit more naturally. He's gonna die again here in this top lane though.
We say that, but that's the third time actually, that we've seen him just caught out of position.
Yeah, why isn't SG just playing together? Long zip, gonna be able to find the Ancient Apparition, a free dust to make sure that Glimmer Cape is not useful. But all of the mana of the Storm Spirit, nobody else is around though.
But
No, they relocate out to protect him. Yeah, they're skittish. They're whoo.
Like there's so many things that they're just not like it's not about discipline. What's the word? Like Storm zipping all mana for an AA kill.
Yeah.
The gyro, Coastability just throwing out ultimate to try and cover him, and then the relocate. It's like you see him get the kill, and they're like out.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's tough because Quincy are going to be favored in the late game. Like AA Spectre kind of delete gyro from Dota and bottom.
Sword can pick up from MSS, but at the same time, the back it doesn't change enough.
And this is the other concern, is that you're going to always have this massive vision advantage on the side of Quincy. Even talenting for the Tree Dance Vision AoE, I like that from Mojo, makes the Orchid even stronger. Plus, you're playing with this Aghanim Spectre, so you're going to have this global mobility on demand. If you can't get out of Orchid, which right now, he kills both supports. Storm, I think, has BKB en route. Indeed. This has got to be the timing for SG. You have double BKB.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. You need a good fight. You want to kill off a support. But it's going to get tough because you're going to have a BKB on the Ember Spirit shortly, and then he has just no counter in this game.
So if they could catch this Ember Spirit on the 26-minute power rune, that's what they're baiting out right now.
Oh, BKB.
It's going to show on the mid lane. Rune spawning in 3, 2, 1. It's bottom, so this bait is going to be fruitless. We'll get an Arcane Rune.
That was a pretty nice move. Tavo was in range, and Quinn actually broke the smoke by sliding mid.
Oh, yeah.
Because, your hero gets close enough.
I hate
during
that.
the travel.
It's so annoying. Smoke is going to break. They're going to go for the Centaur, but Leslau has a BKB. They shadow step onto Tavo here, looking to be able to punish him with a Stampede. He says, you can back up, but I'm going to keep committing for this kill. The rest of the team is on its way, and sure enough, the offlaner of SG is dead.
See, Tavo, he's certainly playing with, confidence, but I think affected maybe in a different way, because this is just consistent over-aggression, right? The reason he makes that play is because they have the ward, so they see the Centaur. But instead of, clicking inventory, it's just
BKB.
Go. He saw a hero and just jumps. But even if there's no BKB, right, that's the tankiest enemy hero. And hold up.
He's going to try and steal it. Jumps in. The Roshan's low. Aegis is picked up by Yawar as well as the Roshan hit. 40R is going to turn around and go for a pickup kill onto the Centaur. They do manage to get that, a 1-for-2 trade-off or 1-for-1 trade-off. MSS, actually, they do get a second kill, but the BKB, it didn't last long enough for his TP to complete. And MSS says, okay, yeah, congrats on killing me, but you just got yourself killed as well.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Coastability is enormous. Like, that, he had a Daedalus in that fight, but they go for the steal. Oh, yeah, we're going to...
Yeah, that big difference in who's able to put out damage
how
in
much
these fights.
What was Storm's impact?
He zipped and did not manage to steal the Aegis. Grabbed him just a second
You saw all
too late.
3 or 4 times just canceling the auto attack.
Going for the Ancient Apparition, all-inning on him and trying to get out. Picks up a double damage rune, refills the bottle. That'll give him just a little bit more mana to potentially escape just outside of the Sleight of Fist. But if he doesn't keep running, Yawar's going to catch up to him. Now he's been Yule's. That was cool. You see what he did there? He slided and then used Yule's because his hero was close enough. That was nice.
Quinn's starting to feel himself a little bit.
Fortunately, the relocate out was there, but unfortunately...
Are they going to fight this? No. Tavo was there. I thought for a second he might go for it.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to give him a tether out.
Yawar, that Scotty timing, you get to a point then all of a sudden where the gyro, like, because the issue gyro always has is if you are able to be gone on,
Dire's
life is
bottom
grim.
tower is
And
under
if you tank
attack.
an AA blast, you can't really fight anymore. And now the Scotty's going to keep you close.
Yeah.
Spectre is just the strongest carry in this game, and you are 6-1 and 11.
What would you give it win percentage-wise? I'd say about like 80% potentially. It's just because
nah.
they've got such a big counter to IO
65,
Gyro.
65.
Okay.
IO Gyro still IO Gyro.
Even against,
Oh my god.
yeah, even against, I think Spectre Axe makes a huge difference as well, right? Because every fight, he's just going to be able to jump IO.
Yeah.
So even if they don't Ice Blast correctly, they're not going to have an IO in fights.
That's true. I didn't expect 90%. Goodness.
Dota Plus also is literally in love with Spectre at
That's
all
true.
times. So
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The hero does win games.
it does
And,
indeed.
you know, it's basically Costa Bile versus the world right now. They want to make a move here, but SG, like, you're playing into Aegis. It's just not something. Like, Aegis Spectre of all heroes. No wonder it's 90%. Just feel like the timings, right? When we watch IG play, PSG LGD, like, they're all about these massive timings. And SG, they got these items. Like, you see the Orchid, you see the BKB, but it didn't really feel like they had the map set up to exploit any sort of weakness in Quincy. It's just kind of smoke and pray.
Yeah. Shadow Step onto Theolocor. Just a bit of a poke before he jumps back to farming. It's just, that's the really annoying part about this Aghanims from Spectre. You just feel like you constantly have to be 5-manning. Very rarely can people show in the side lanes.
Yeah. I just realized that the Shadow Step fires off a dagger as well.
Yep.
That's so good. Like, even if that wasn't a component, it would still probably be the item you rush.
Crimson Guard now for Leslau. Nice pickup. You can see MSS begin some really nice vision around this mid lane, because that's very likely where SG is going to be making all their moves. So they may not see where they are exactly, but they do know where they're at effectively, and they're going to be able to find the initiation on Tavo. KJ is going to use his tether to try and bail out the Mars, but now it means he's not tethered to Costa Bile. Costa Bile, who's trying to finish off Leslau here, they take down the big tanky Centaur, but Costa Bile again! A BKB that does not last long enough, stuck inside his own arena, and will die here against Yawar, who is just too damn big. They don't have a chance to be able to kill him once, let alone twice. 40R, Adriano, maybe a small zip, but it's not going to take him far enough. Ultra kill for Quinn as he is fully back. We talked about this guy looking nervous in the first 15 minutes of the match, but he has recovered nicely with the help of all of his teammates. 8,000 net worth lead for Quincy Crew, and if it was 90% lead net before, it's going to be damn close to 100% after that fight.
Yep. Tavo, we were praising him at the start, but just consistently getting caught.
Yeah.
Like, playing out of position. Forces the tether, which, again, is not a bad play necessarily from KJ, but now your gyro has no wisp. We talked about the power, right? The spell amp, the attack speed, and suddenly he's just naked in the middle of a fight. Yeah, you've got BKB, but once that fades, like, you're just dead to the magic damage.
Yeah.
Scotty now, complete on Yawar.
Hey, even worse, Tavo had buyback, right?
Yep.
He diebacked in that fight, so it's not like they needed to save Tavo. They, like, if you're gonna win a fight, it's gonna be with you tethered to the gyrocopter and actually using that strength that you have between the two of them. So we're going to watch that again. With the vision that MSS has been setting up, also gets the initiation. Tavo just gets 100 to 0. He buys back in this fight. But you can see KJ already dead. Costa Bile is left to try and do it by himself. But again, TP's a bit too late.
But it's just, I mean,
Invisibility.
he has Yules, right? Could have potentially used that before having to buy back. Then buys back, but it's just spell casting, right? Blink, arena, the spear whiffs. Like, there's, you know, it frustrates, and I don't mean to be overly critical. It just kind of breaks my heart because we're watching this. Quinn's gonna go in.
They're going to haunt. They're going to Ice Blast. That is going to be able to catch 3. So Costa Bila and KJ immediately have to back out. Yuar, with this killer instinct, just goes straight forward. He's like, okay, we can get more off of this one. And he's right. KJ is dead. They're trying to hit this Spectre right now, but he is super tanky. Only goes down to half health after a full assault. That being said, if Storm Spirit can reset, well, he won't have any team. He could do a little bit zip back and forth action, but he doesn't have any allies.
This is my least favorite part of the whole tournament. You know, knowing that one of these teams is going to be going home today, it just hurts because I want you know, only one team can win. But I think more than anything else, when you come to TI as a player, you want to just, this is your life. This is what you work for. This is your favorite game, both your profession and your passion. And I want you to be proud, right?
Yeah.
Like I left it all on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly. And right now, you know,
there is a better SG out there, and what we're seeing right here, they're just going to be full of regret because this is a life-changing opportunity. The international
ADR, like he's smooth, right? He's one of the most high-skilled players on the server, and I'm watching him like stutter his attacks in every single team fight, and it's not smooth. It's not carefree Dota 2, as the voice lines being spammed might make it appear.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost like they know they're nervous, so they're trying to cut through it.
Hey, we can see you in the Roche pit. We see you doing it.
MSS debating the Roche, maybe trying to force SG into the vicinity.
It's not actually going to be up for another minute and a half now. A late Roche on Quincy crew. Might be a little disappointed by that, but you've got plenty of time, and it's not like they get any weaker as the game goes late.
And the supports, you know, recognizing, Storm's a big threat. What do they grab? We saw this, I believe, first at the, was it the Anti-Major? Just as a hard counter to Abed's Storm. You just saw PSG LGD buying Aeon Discs in bulk.
Yep.
And suddenly, there's just no chance to find that opening kill.
Smoke up SG. They run into Leslau here. They're going to be pretty disappointed, but they do get onto the high ground without the smoke breaking. They're going to loop to the side here. They're going to spot Quinn. No jump onto him. Quinn reacts, forcing out the BKB of Costa Bila. He's going to go deeper. He really wants to be able to kill KJ. They have the Haunt going out, the Glimmer Cape, and they're trying to get this Wisp out of here. Costa Bila is going to start taking some damage. He's going to return fire onto UR, but he doesn't want to be here for long, and that's why the relocate is called for. He gets out. The rest of the team trying to get away. Back to this relocate that is coming in shortly. Leslau's a little bit low. SG sees an opportunity. They're going to be able to keep this fight going and kill the Centaur. Nice spear back from Tavo, costing him his life. 40 yard though. What is he doing out here? He gets caught. A shadow step. Not the real Spectre. KJ, oh, he's in trouble, but so is Quinn. Yuar does manage to get that kill. Yuar's a little bit low as well. Costa Bila is getting kited, though, one after another. A hero challenges and gets out, actually. They will manage to get a nice long zip, catching the Spectre. A crucial kill for SG Esports. As now, maybe with those buybacks, they can actually take Roshan for themselves.
Oh, my goodness. What a wild fight. I want to see that one back. So, Quinn, I think, reset himself, but they were a little distracted. You saw the Spectre sticking to the gyro, but Quinn was off trying to kind of zone the IO. Ended up getting tether stunned. That shard on Wisp always catches people off guard. And yeah, I mean, a very quick BKB from Costa Bila. I thought this fight was just over before it started, but you can see a little disconnected, right? Quinn, he's not diving in deep. He's just sort of in, then out, in, then out. Tavo surviving was huge, and of course the relo out. KJ kind of just saving the fight. They're able to then finish off the Centaur.
They're in.
Oh,
Quinn,
God,
he's going to go for it, trying to interrupt this Roshan attempt. He gets KJ really low. And Roshan,
They've got to finish this.
he's going to try and go back in with the slight. They've got to get this now before they jump in. Leslau, he's on top of the gyrocopter, and he just kills him right away. Thea Liqueur jumps in and does manage to grab away the Aegis.
Nope.
That is not going to be picked up by Quincy crew, but
No.
Thea Liqueur is probably going to die twice, and 40 are relocated out. Woo! KJ That could have been the end right there, but he gets the Storm Spirit out of here. Theolacor very likely to die twice. Are also going to try and kill the IO here.
Yeah, they're going to.
KJ, he's going to be first. Theolacor trying to get out, goes up to the high ground, but of course Quinn has more than enough mobility to keep pace with him. It did cost Quincy Crew some buybacks there. They had to buy back on their carry, so if they make some sort of mistake in their attempt to end the game, or at least get a significant advantage, this whole thing could change, but...
Theolacor, he stole the, got the shard too. What a baller. KJ, you know, playing out of his mind. All the 0-9, but he's made like 4 or 5 sick relocate saves. Like, if ADR dies there, like that's at least 1 Rax, right? Costa Bile closing in on Satanic, but they'll likely lose the 1 Rax.
Back and forth, the zips.
Let's see, almost level 25. They have those 25 talents on both Ember and Spectre, so many remnants and incredible tank ability on the Yawar Spectre, who does not have an Aegis, but 4155. What the HP bar reads, that is a very difficult target to take down.
That's before the BKB he's about to pick up too. And he could even change his, what's that called again? The bracer thing? Neutral item? Van Brace. Thank you. He could even switch that over to strength if he wants to. Extra magic resistance too.
Yeah. I think it'll probably be his choice. Trying to see. Okay, we're going to have an Aghanim soon on the Snapfire. Tavo desperate for the BKB, but you can see like his game, and I go back to the point, you know, 8-9 minutes in, right? The best Mars player in this tournament, JT, he is never going for this naked blink rush, and I think this is the exact reason why, because you just end up like you're a blink spear. That's your hero, and you have a really cool scaling ability with the rebuke, but with no actual damage items, you're effectively just an initiator, and that's that. You saw in that last fight, Costa Bile did more than 80% of his team's damage. He's going to have to do that to win this game. And it's just a tall task. This Quincy lineup is so tanky, and their supports just offer so much more in the terms of the DPS.
Getting level 25 and getting Aghanim Scepter would be a really big play, but 40R, he's going to get caught. He does manage to get off the BKB, though. Those chain stuns weren't actually quite on point.
How is it not? How did they not chain stun that?
I have no idea.
Was Leslau just late?
It didn't feel like he was that late, but then again, Boundless Strike doesn't stun for that long, and he also doesn't have the talent to go with it, so...
That's true. It's only 1 point. It's 1.6. What? Yo, this score was no buyback though. Don't you just stampede, finish him, then go finish the game?
An opportunity missed for Quincy Crew.
I do not want to be giving any teams extra chances. I don't care what Dota Plus says about the win probability.
Yeah. Especially when you don't have buyback on your carry, right?
All right, Costa Bile, they want to get to the secret shop, and that's the line drawn because they have enough gold for the Satanic on the gyro. This is not a game to save buyback. If one of your cars has no buyback, you might as well just spend your gold.
Yeah.
Because this fight is going to be for the game.
He is also closing in on level 25. Not quite as impactful on Gyrocopter as some other heroes.
Smoke will pop.
Radiant are scanning.
You're going to get a little bit of vision plays. That's the big key now. And that's the main reason I feel like Quincy have taken a foothold. Man, you got to be so careful, ADR. Oh.
They're going to get the chains on him. Is he going to BKB? He will.
Got to get out. I think MSS is just... The vision advantage is just massive. If you watch him zip around, like, he sees so much of the fights.
And he's finding wards all the time. He just got another one with the gem, so...
And you have Ember Spectre, right? These heroes consume vision. Like, it's just, oh, hey, there's a guy, we can kill him. And you're suddenly on top of enemy cores. Just, it's so much easier to play, thanks to this Monkey King. First picked, after all, right? Like, they consider this the most valuable hero in the pool. You can see why.
Yep.
Although many teams at TI do agree. with that assessment.
Certainly do. Monkey King and Weaver, probably the two highlight 4 position heroes of this TI so far. 15,000 net worth lead. Quincy crew. Every advantage you could possibly ask for. No vision out from SG. They're huddled inside of their base. Nowhere to go to. Just waiting for the inevitable push from Quincy crew. Quincy can decide when they want to go for that.
I will say, though, I think they're perhaps playing a little too passive because... Hang on, Quinn. Okay. Storm Gyro. Like, yes, Spectre's the hardest carry in this game.
I think they know he went top. I think they're going to smoke there.
No, they're wrapping around.
Maybe not.
They're going to find that arcane
Dire's
or
bottom
maybe
tower
no.
is under attack.
Man, this is very risky.
Cane Rune.
Just going to take it for
Storm
free.
Spirit.
They have vision.
It's really big, and they're going to be able to find Mojo. They can also take away the gem potentially, but he does have a BKB. They are going to pop the haunt to see if they can get MSS out of here. Yawar is in deep. They're already on top of KJ, and looks like Quinn is able to bounce back and get 2 kills already. Costabile needs a way out of this one. Adriano fighting for his life on the side as well. Quinn trying to back away as KJ is trying to keep Costabile alive, but he just dies so quickly and was able to get the Gyrocopter a little bit of time. He's fighting back, but the Yawar Spectre is just too damn big, and it will cut down the rest of SG Esports. That is it for Game 1, SG Esports. Again, there's another series for them after this, but really, they have to get this win in Game 2 if they have any chance to be able to get out of this hole of elimination.
Dude, that last fight, the first zip from ADR was like through the arena, realizes not where he wants to be, so he goes like another 1,500 units onto the AA standing on the opposite high ground, but doesn't have dust. He just has an empty slot. So Aeon Disc, Glimmer Cape survives the entire duration of Storm BKB, dies.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's like any individual issue with SG. Like, nobody lost this team the game, but like this wasn't like they weren't like getting beaten as much as they were beating themselves. And I think you gotta, deep breath. You get a win. Quincy, they can relax. I expect them to be playing better in the next game in that early. Like, Quinn was a little shaky, but
Pressure's off now. They've gotten a single win, yeah.
if they can win another, they're likely just through and they can breathe easy.
Yeah.
SG, you can tie it up. You can force a tiebreaker. You're not out, but get loose. This is where you're probably tempted to talk about the loss and like, maybe we should have hit our timings better. But I think what this squad just has to do is go for a little walk. Forget this game. Go new and just play better, because I know that they can.
They absolutely can. There's a reason why they are here at the International 10, and they can give us a better performance. We know that. Let's see if SG can make that happen, though. We're going to take a short 3 or 4 minute break and be back with Game 2. right, before we get into our next game of
Yes.
SG Esports versus Quincy Crew, we do want to do a little bit of an update of what's going on in the other streams because it does have implication for what's going on right here.
It does. So, if you don't want to know what's happening in the tournament, don't listen. Mute the stream for 30 seconds, okay? I don't want to spoil anything that's happening right now. Okay. Fnatic just beat Secret. So, moving up to 5 wins, that means that it would be very hard for Fnatic to get eliminated from TI today.
Yeah,
They're probably
SG
through.
would have to win this, and then they would have to go on and 2-0 their opponents, which I think is Spirit.
Yes.
And then Quincy Crew would have to go on to 2-0 like Vici or something.
Yeah, a Secret, I think.
Secret? Okay.
Secret, by the way, was the team Fnatic beat. Also, Spirit took game off Beast Coast, and LGD beat Elephant. So, that means this group is nuts. Like, there's almost certainly...
Elephant is who they were supposed to play, right? Because I remember we were talking about this morning because I was like, oh, Elephant's going to lose to LGD, so they're going to be maybe tilted.
Yeah, okay. This is actually crazy.
Because everybody loses
Beast
to
Coast
LGD.
looked like guaranteed for upper bracket, and now it's like, oh, crap.
Yeah, now
this-
Fnatic and Spirit are really making a run at it, and who knows, Team Secret may not actually be making a run for it at all.
Yeah,
This might be yet another TI that Team Secret really flounders. This could be the worst. This could be the worst TI for Secret. Yeah,
That's not true. There's nothing will
that's true.
compare
There was.
to the fateful year when, man, what a roster. Legendary lineup. That was TI 6, I believe,
Yeah, I think so.
where Secret rocked up with, I think it was Arteezy, Eternal Envy,
Remaining.
Puppy, Pylai, and Bulba.
5
was the playing
seconds
roster.
remaining.
Yeah.
And all of them storied. Like, I'm not saying, but the synergy between those players, perhaps not ideal. But let's focus on the matter at hand. SG versus Quincy Crew. And now, Jack Chen, listening to my voice right now, did a few of those during that last game. And Quincy Crew,
Jack Chen is the manager of Quincy Crew, by the way.
10 seconds remaining.
the godfather of Quincy Crew.
The Godfather.
5
leading
seconds
the-
remaining.
Consigliere for the captain.
Mm.
And SG, you gotta come through. And we were talking about it off cam during the break. Just did not play up to expectations, and you can see the nerves. You can see how it's affecting them, and this is the first, right? Like, I can't even imagine playing a series.
Esports turn to ban.
Effectively, SG, they need to be able to win this game, and they have to kind of treat this like a best of 3 that they're going to reverse sweep.
Yes.
They have to be able to win this game against Quincy Crew, hope that whatever happens in their next series allows them to either be ahead or tied with Quincy Crew,
10
and then it
seconds
all just
remaining.
comes down to a best of 1.
5
And
seconds
actually,
remaining.
thinking about it, yeah, Quincy. This is a little less stressful for Quincy, but because they have that next series coming up, like, they're still nervous. Like, this is not a.
Yeah, I mean, they could 2-0 SG and then get 0-2'd by Elephant.
Exactly.
And SG plays against Spirit. You know, maybe they get an upset there. They 2-0. Then
10
you're right back to
seconds
being tied.
remaining.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And Elephant's going to probably be. I mean, Elephant just
5
dropped LGD,
seconds
so if they
remaining.
want upper bracket, they're going to need to keep winning today. Well, start winning today. So, sorry, by the way, if you tuned in after I said there'd be spoilers.
Yeah,
and
that
we
was a
spoiled
long
anyway.
30 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine watching, like, because we're memeing on this a little bit because we got
Quincy
complaints
Crew's
about
turn
spoiling.
to
It's like,
pick.
man, the tournament's happening, like, live. If you're watching one
SG
game,
Esports turn
like, can't you just, like, don't you, like, a second tab?
I mean, I
You
kind
watch
of
them
get
one at a
it that
time?
like Dota is hard enough to watch. Like Dota is a game that you need to be able to consume start to finish.
That's
it's,
true.
It's not a game that you can really jump in halfway through and really feel the full roller coaster
10
that's going
seconds
on, right?
remaining.
So I kind of get it if people want to be able to focus on one game. But
5
that being
seconds
said, there
remaining.
are constant implications and. To be honest, we only have a limited time between breaks, so we're also just trying to keep up to
That's
date
true.
ourselves on the tournament.
I mean, shout out to you Dota fan. Like you remember the I'm not gonna remember but it's like the Real Men of Genius ads. Like
Oh, yes.
you,
The real men of genius.
indeed, you, this fan. Da da da. Anyway, if you're telling me you're watching games live, start to finish, and then later when the Dota stops, 12 hours later, you're going to watch the games that you didn't watch. Like, hats off to you, man.
You
like,
are a true connoisseur of Dotes.
That is some dedication. There's just too many games. Like I can
Yeah,
barely
we do that
keep up.
as a job, and Kyle doesn't even do that.
I do that. I'm aware of things. Ugh. This, I'll tell you, Quincy Crew, much more comfortable. This is like the NA special. Now you're just going to go hit him with the dotes, right? You've got a built-in smoke, check. Buff the tiny, all right? Like, this is a game 2 kind of draft. You're feeling yourself. You got your confidence back.
Lots of stuns, lots of ganking power that's going on. Meanwhile, SG, they once again went for what has been very popular in the meta right now. Tidehunter is one of the most picked heroes. Weaver, I think, is probably one of the more successful heroes here. This is going to be also, a nice 3-4 duo. Like I like this opening. I wasn't a big fan of their game 1 draft. Because it was very meta, but it was also all the heroes that were losing.
Yes.
This Weaver Tidehunter is super strong.
What happened to Pango? Like, why didn't we see that hero? Because it looked busted when Tundra was playing it, when PSGLG was playing it, and it's like, to me, perfect for this patch, right? Where it can be effectively any lane or role, and it just fell off the map. It was nerfed a bit, but I didn't think it was.
It's still good.
Super significant.
It's still very good. You cannot give that hero, you cannot give a hero more and more tools and not have it be viable. Even if you change the numbers and nerf them, you cannot give a hero a free magic immunity tool that also makes your ultimate much stronger.
10 seconds remaining.
The shield crash slow that's a trade-off, right?
Remaining.
I guess it was nerfed in C. The slow was nerfed. It's more mana. I think maybe that was really it. It's that, man, Dota's just a crazy game, right? You give a spell like 10 more mana and suddenly the hero falls off the map.
Do you think that is their mid or 5 position? Or do you think the Weaver's a 1?
It's 5 Pango, yeah.
I think KJ is going to be playing it. Okay.
Terrorblade.
I was just saying, because if they see Tiny already, I guess, I wonder how many times Quincy Crew has run Tiny and where they've been playing it.
Esports
Timbersaw.
Well, oh man. Talk about a draft. This is, I would consider the hardest counter to Terrorblade is actually Timbersaw. You're good in lane, very tanky, natural Lotus buyer.
Pure damage.
Yeah, and also very strong against Tide and Pango, of course. This also alleviates a lot of pressure. You even have a Mirana in your lane, which it's somewhat anti-synergy. Like, oh, but you want to stun for the arrow. But Mirana, you secure archers, and Timber can just shove lane. But you're also very adept at just staying out of XP range. And you don't need XP. You're a Mirana. Get level 2. You're golden. So he can just stack for his Tiny, be annoying, and Timbersaw allows you this freedom because he wants to be left alone.
Yeah, so all they have to do is get him off to a good start. If Pango's a 5 position, we don't really see what he's going to be able to do to Timbersaw. I think they have to start off with one of those plays where Weaver starts top. And they get bugs on Timber, and they shield crash him with Metamorphosis and just hope that they can 100-0 him. But eventually he's going to start winning his lane. It's just kind of guaranteed. So they're going to have to try and get as much done as quick as possible. That way Terrorblade can go and start playing the jungle. They need a mid laner now if Pango is going to be that 5 position. And Quincy Crew still have an opening here where they could be tiny mid, could be tiny carry. So they're saying it's a tiny mid. They think Quinn's going to be playing it and UR is going to be having something else.
10 seconds remaining.
But Ogre Tiny doesn't sound like a bad 5-1 combo.
5
No,
seconds remaining.
It's just solid. Like, you buff your Tiny and
The biggest thing he needs is attack speed as a carry. So
move speed too.
yeah,
It's very helpful.
Speed, very helpful too.
I think it's an underrated aspect of certain heroes. Just you know, especially when you consider carries, like move speed is more about like farm speed because you're just getting to
Quincy
camps
Crew's
faster.
Turn to pick.
They needed some sort of big magic burst hero. They're going to go for the Void Spirit.
It's a tough game for him though, and ADR is going to be asked to do a lot of the heavy lifting here if he wants to bring his team a W. Nice to have non-blink required
10
initiation though.
seconds
I'm always a big
remaining.
fan. You can get right on top of the Mirana the Ogre.
5
Aghanim's
seconds
timing, very
remaining.
effective. But, okay, the Weaver's going to buy Vessel, so that's one aspect. You're going to be able to deal with the Tiny and the Timber in that sense. Team fight for SG Sports is actually kind of nuts if you think about it. Just the roll plus the Ravage combination.
Yep, absolutely.
But Quincy, you have overall last pick for who else but Quinn? 24th picking his mid matchup.
So what do you want him to have? What wins you the game? Ember Spirit again? Tinker!
Gross.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, well, certainly they're
Quinn
feeling
Tinker.
themselves. I would not have guessed this. You know, you gave me 10 choices. Now, matchup-wise, this is sick. Yo, talk about counters to Terrorblade. Two of the top 3 are Tinker Timbersaw.
Yep.
Like, this is unplayable for your TB. It's also a pretty good matchup against the Void Spirit because, you know, melee hero, not too much harass or kill threat early on. And if you look at SG, they don't actually have a Tinker Killer. Like, they just can't find him, let alone slay him. No real click point stuns.
And Quinn, this is something that they're pulling out, right? This is a crucial game for them. Very likely, if they win this game against SG, they
10
probably stave
seconds
off
remaining.
elimination. So they're pulling out the hidden card they had in their
yeah.
back
5
pocket that
seconds
nobody knew
remaining.
about because Quinn is not a Tinker player.
Never seen him in my life.
He has played it 4 times on Optic. He's played it 7 times in total, but I'm just going to count the 4 where he was on Optic Gaming.
When was the most recent?
And the most recent was 2018. The start at 2018.
Jeez.
So this is, again, this is hidden information that Quincy Crew is pulling out. They think, and it's a great opportunity, as you said. Like, it's a great Tinker game. If they feel, if Quinn feels comfortable on it, you know, they're going to be feeling very happy about this draft. Though now they just have
Okay.
to execute it.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. I hope we see that animation to TB. Is he not holding them? Where are the handles?
Like he's got some mind powers.
What?
Yeah, see, he's just motioning with it, and it follows his will. That's how powerful he is.
Huh. I did not know that.
Always learning.
Yeah.
Always learning.
Like all the other, I mean, this is maybe an advantage, right? If you look at all the other heroes, Pangolier, Void Spirit, they have to physically hold their weapons, as does the entire draft and lineup of Quincy Crew, except that shield. I guess that's just kind of loosely tethered to Ogre Magi's right arm.
I do want to bring up a different hero for Quincy Crew, though. I want to talk about Leslau and their performance at the Animajor. Right? They got, I think, a pretty fortunate bracket where they had a chance to be able to make it to the upper bracket finals. All they had to do was beat T1 in the upper bracket semifinals. They would have secured top 3.
Yeah.
They end up losing a critical game 3, and a big part of that was because Leslau was playing Broodmother, and he was not comfortable on the hero. This game, in a very crucial game, he's playing Timbersaw, a hero that he also may or may not feel comfortable with, as he's only played 11 times, and what, he's probably, I think he's only won like 4 of those 11 games. So, and he also hasn't played it for 5 months.
Yeah, I just remembered as well, they took down No Ping Esports in that first round of the upper bracket,
30
and
seconds.
No Ping, of course, the unfortunate moniker of being the first team left out, or second team,
Yeah.
third team left out. Like, they were 585, the cutoff was 800. So this would not be the first time that Quincy Crew would shatter the dreams of a South American hopeful at a Valve event. But as you stated, you know, perhaps a little less comfortable on the teams. I think SG, though, they're comfortable. Like, Costa Bile, Terrorblade, this is the bread and butter.
Yep.
Tavo on his Tide Hunter.
Battling for the bounties. Quinn certainly going to be dying here, but they're hoping to be able to get a kill somewhere out of this, but they won't. First blood fed to Costa Bile. At least Mojo has a sense of humor. Using
Quinn
Sir
emoji.
Action Slacks' line.
Não, você que é.
Well, that helps. I mean, last game, Quincy, they were the ones to make the move for the first blood. This time it is SG. Good for them. Getting on the board. Who got the kill? Costabile. All right.
His most played hero of this season 31 times.
Yeah.
So
That's why you pick it, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
a tough game. You knew you were going to get counterpicked. You maybe didn't expect Quincy Crew to just double down so hard on shutting you down, but, you know, it is a solo win condition. And is LOA dead?
he is indeed.
Nice.
Very, very, very good for SG Esports. Starting off not just with the first blood, double
Whoa.
kill. They start off with
But they lost the whole first wave bottom. Why was Costabile so late to the lane?
I guess he walked all the way there from the fight. And Mojo must have stalled him up. Is that what happened, JJ?
But that was a whole wave. That's wow.
That's not great because they are already going to have a Timbersaw problem. I was thinking that they might even try and like tri-lane at the very start or something like that. But so to give Leslau that free start,
Yeah,
the first meta not pressuring the Timbersaw when he has no armor either.
yeah. That was a really cool move. Leslau, he intentionally like pushed, didn't block, so wave went into tower. But yeah, they'll have a level X advantage down bottom now, almost certainly. And KJ, because he TP'd and did all that stuff up top, he's also out of mana. And this is not good for the bottom lane of SG. They're also going to be outmatched a bit up top, even after the first blood. Nice body blocks. Toss back into tower.
Tavo, these hits, they do so much, even through the anchor smash.
How did
Tiny
that-
just
wait.
hits too hard.
How did he get tossed into tower, Cap? There's no stuns. He just went out of position.
And he has to fight for CS as a melee hero.
Radiant's top tower
You are
is
just
under attack.
must have found the right kind of opening. I don't know how this mid matchup goes. Do you? Tinker versus Void Spirit. I assume it is Tinker favored.
Yeah, it's Tinker favored.
Right. Most Tinker versus melee matchups are going to
Yeah,
be favored.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I like that Quinn. I see a lot of Tinkers sometimes skipping Soul Ring. They buy Blink first, but I think especially in this matchup, because you're just going to trade, like, just get the Soul Ring. Why not? Spam on this Void Spirit. The shield doesn't help, of course, against magical or pure damage, so it's very effective. And,
See, Quincy Crew, they know the Terrorblade is going to have a hard game. Right? He's going to have to leave jungle leave lane and go jungle pretty quickly. And they've already blocked out the ancient camp. They placed a sentry there
Wow.
really, really early. Not a single camp has spawned there yet.
Tão bom, cara.
Yeah, I feel like another reason this Tiny hero is so good in the safe lane, you can see they've just ignored the, typically you have to block the hard camp. They don't care. They just run over and farm.
Yeah.
And Tiny Ogre specifically, like, this is very scary to go up against. I love you.
MSS looking for an opening. He has that freedom you were talking about. Playing with the Timbersaw, he doesn't really need to lane too much, so he can focus on just trying to land arrows. If not, he can farm up jungle creeps, which is also another way to slow down Costabile, right?
Yep.
If you leave all the camps with the biggest creep missing.
And this poor bottom lane. I mean, they pop meta, but that's a level 3 Timbersaw, and the wave is pushing in, so it's not even really going to be able to zone him too well. And yeah, exactly. Mojo, this is the dream. Where's he TPing in? He's going mid?
He's going to try and help out against 40R, who they were battling for the Water Rune. He managed to get the Water Rune away from Adriano. And if you were to land this arrow, probably be a kill. Checks through the Bounty Rune. It's not there.
Okay. I, maybe a little ambitious, but, what else is he going to do,
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't
He's
have
chilling.
anything else to do. And this is, like, at this point, I think you kind of want to be like Kaka, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just
40.
roam on this mid matchup as much as possible. If he were to, say, kill the courier as it's on its way in to help Adriano, then that would be a big win.
Yeah, he saw him cross sides. Otherwise, if he was still waiting on the hill, maybe he kills her. In fact, actually, he's afraid.
Gets another toss back in top lane. Tavo is low, but I don't think they have anything left in the tank.
Oh, 40R. Oh, the arrow, the arrow, the arrow.
Oh, he tried to go for either hitting 40R or potentially stopping the bottle Passover, but gets it anyway, a refill. At least he maybe stopped the free charges.
Mm-hmm. But they're just so far ahead in this laning phase, Cam.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's wild. I mean, this Ogre tiny lane, I was thinking, okay, you're off to a great start. You got the first blood. They get that early kill, the bonus from the Pangolier starting top. But it's just Ogre tiny. Like you said, the minus armor. Well, Ogre has 7 base armor. What? How do you deal with it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they actually picked a really nice 5 position to deal with Tide Weaver. And, I mean, because that's a lane we've seen pressured Tiny before, right? Because he starts off with 0 armor, so negative armor can really mess him up. Taking away the Urn of Shadows, that is going to feel bad for Theo Lecor. He's going to sit here, trying to hold the Power Rune and take it away from Quinn. Won't be able to, and it does spawn top. Quinn going to be very happy with that. Tavo going to be very upset if he dies again, and he will not.
Look at this bottom lane, though. Kept a solo Timber, not even 6 hits, pressuring these heroes 2-on-1. Loses Courier, but did get the Arcanes beforehand.
I think we're about that point where Costa Bele's got to leave lane, and they're just going to give it to KJ. Say, get whatever experience you can, try not to die. And that would be okay. It's just natural sometimes when you get a late Timber pick in a draft. But the fact that Tidehunter is having a very bad game as well, they're losing both their side lanes rather hard. Not great.
It's just tough as well. You don't have playmakers.
They're going to try and bring Adriano over here. KJ may just end up dying. They're going to bait him in, but do they have the damage, really? Missing the Aether Remnant means that they do not. I was already going to be a long shot because they were trying to kill a Timbersaw with physical damage of the Terrorblade. So they kind of would have to play that perfectly.
This is just not ideal. Yeah, not ideal. And the downside, you know, it's not about just not being able to kill Tinker. You can't rotate with these supports. Your Pango Weaver, your lane dominators.
Yeah.
You can't.
Your lane dominators, and
fix
you
the
did
lanes.
not dominate your lanes.
And what do you can't touch Timbersaw now. Top there's this Tiny, which is 12 armor, 1500 HP. Good luck. It's 8 minutes into the game. Maybe Quinn, but you know this is Quincy crew. They're gonna be playing around him.
Astrun grabbed by 40R here. And unfortunately, this Ogre is too tanky. Even though he's got a haste rune, even though he's a mid laner, has a big experience advantage over the supports. Can't kill him. This is going to be a continual problem for Void Spirit.
Yep.
Not being able to kill people. He's got Tinker and Mirana. Those are the 2 heroes he can really hunt.
Bottom, Leslau is just. Oh, I mean, again, he loses his courier. I guess that's one thing you can do. You can't kill heroes, but you can camp the birdies. KJ just, dies. Again, can't touch Timbersaw. Now level 8. He's just been alone here for almost 6 minutes. Huge XP advantage on the game.
I like this, though. Theo Lecor is instead going to try and take this lane, and he's going to try and pull the creeps away from the tower. So that's the thing. Timbersaw doesn't hit towers very well. What he does is he just tanks the tower, allowing the creep wave to survive. But Theo Lecor is going to just try and draw it away as much as possible.
He's got to be careful. JJ's like chuckling. It's like this poor little bug. It's like, what am I thinking? Men in Black? But maybe not the best example because in that movie the bug was incredibly powerful, and this one is unfortunately forced to scurry. and scamper away.
But he's doing a nice job. He just killed a wave and a half. He's slowly keeping the Timber Saw. He's just kind of keeping him at bay, keeping him from being able to take that tower. And the longer this tower stays alive, it just means the more farming time that Costa Vila gets.
Yeah. And it's actually great. Yeah, great job top lane though. Cautious. Tide has Ravage. Is this really where you want to be, Quinn?
Quinn is in pretty deep here. They don't even need the Ravage for that one.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
It did not pay off.
You see a Terrorblade meta, you don't know where Void Spirit is, and you just King Conveyance in. And you have that extra time to think about it, right? Yeah, tip him. I love it. You got to get the mentality back. SG, you are not out of it. You've lost your lanes, you've lost first game, but this is still Costa Vila Terrorblade. And, you know, maybe the Gyro performance, I mean, I don't even know if it was necessarily his fault, right? It was a rough game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Quinn had 4.5 seconds to think about whether or not he wanted a TP in there.
Yeah. Considering nobody else is there, it seems like he just really wanted to be able to keep that tower alive, because if Timbersaw is able to finish off that tower and rotate and just be like a wall stopping you, then you have a nice map advantage, right? You have a tower lead. But maybe needed to communicate a little bit more with his team and let them lead that charge. And he can follow up, because that is kind of what a Tinker does. Theolacor still trying the same play, and he has been living and doing a good job, but finally he gets caught. The bug trap is set. Quincy crew squash him.
Hey, I think he did. I mean, he got like a level and a half from doing this. And
Yep.
I think that was all you could really hope for.
Absolutely.
Just delaying the game. One concern, I mean, Yawar is enormous. He just farmed his Ancients. He's going to get buffed up, has the completed Echo Saber. I mean, talk about farm. He even had the luxury. Typically, you see Tinies skip their level 10 talent until they max out stun at the very least, but he's just so farmed. He's like, yeah, why not? Get a little more damage. Like, he's just jungling.
And I like now that he's positioning himself to take away some of the Terrorblades farm.
Oh.
And cutting over. 12-minute rune is top, though.
Tholicore, man. Oh, no. Guys.
Do it
Oh,
again.
my God.
Nice.
The third time. Lesla loses his courier. Now, that is something that I think can help restore your team's confidence. It's basically just bonus bounty runes. But there's not a thing for him to do in this game. It reminds me of some game, I think it was the Boston Major, Moon Meander Night Stalker, solo top against a tri-lane. He has literally no game, so he just goes and ganks mid. Like 3 times in a row, he finds a kill. It's a daytime level 1 Night Stalker, literally no play, still finds impact, and that's what Tholicore is doing here.
Girano needs to be careful. The Moonlight Shadow Tiny approaches. Eventually, they're going to feel like, oh no! That is another miscommunication from Quincy crew. Now LOA is going to be running into the Rolling Thunder of KJ and Quincy crew. They just got to get out of here.
Quinn?
They turn around, throw some damage on a KJ, but Adriano's on his way. They're going to be able to catch Quinn here. They dissimulate away, jump out. Adriano, the last tree. Is he going to kill him? He lives. The shield was enough. Yawar TP's out. Leslaw's good as well.
What? Quinn?
Not a Tinker player.
I feel like the nerves almost just came flooding back. Here, we're going to watch this. So Quinn short blinks, cancels the rearm, then defense matrices himself, ends up dying. And somehow... Oh, God, hang on. Oh, my God,
Ravage going to go off. A nice 4-man Ravage with the bugs on top. The Sunder barely going off from Costa Vila in time, but he lives. At the same time, SG probably won't be able to pick up a kill. Theolacor, the blinding light of the laser, ends his life 5-5 now. Oh, KJ. He swashbuckled in for that one. Will try and shield crash up to the high ground. Does manage to get free. Yawar could still potentially catch him, but no, they're going to let him go.
But doesn't Quinn have... No, you know what? Let's focus on the
I like
head.
this. No Ravage. Hit that mid-tier 1 tower with your Tiny. Your Your Tiny and Timbersaw feel very strong. SG still are able to fight, though, thanks to Rolling Thunder being so powerful. They just keep on stunning up this Timbersaw and hitting UR a couple times as well. Pushing them back, keeping their tower alive.
It's a great defense. They had no 40R, no Ravage.
UR is kind of pushing his luck a little bit. They got to respect the fact that they are low.
This is insane space, though. Like, Costabile is 3-0.
Yeah.
He's top net worth. Like, I actually cannot believe SG are winning this game.
I think all the things that the supports did in that bottom lane, it drew a lot of Quincy crew attention. They've gotten a couple of kills on the Tinker as well, who's the counter to the Terrorblade. SG, they've given themselves a real shot after a bad laning phase.
And I almost feel like Quincy crew, like, I don't, like, almost too confident. Like, they're doing some, I have not seen Ogres maxing Bloodlust, right? And here you have SV, or LOA, he's 1-2-3 in his build. I always see max out Ignite, right? Just for the damage. You saw Yoar, you know, getting talent before max stun. Like, they're just kind of like, hey, we're ahead, we're going to win, this is easy. And it's not easy. Like, this is not SG's not just falling over. You can't just hit creeps and expect to win the game. And KJ, this Pango 5 is doing so much work.
It really is. May not have been able to do much against the Timbersaw, but now that he's level 6.
And if you look at that first game, you know, the only criticism maybe I had was a little early on a relocate one time. But if you think about it, he actually balled out, right? He had a lot of really clutch saves, good positioning. And I like that they've given him this active hero because he's got that killer instinct. And I really think that, you know, of all players in this game right now, it feels like KJ's most comfortable. Although Costabile, I don't want to take anything away from him, but, you know, it's tough to gauge a man's comfort when he's just hitting creeps.
They've got the Spirit Vessel. Leslau's in trouble. Timber Chain isn't going to take him that far away. Arrow comes through. Does manage to land on Tavo. Leslau's taking some more damage. Another round of Spirit Vessel, but the toss up in the air. Theolicor barely gets off the time lapse in time. Running away. Tavo, if he gets spotted, a heat-seeking missile will bring him down. UR doesn't see him, though. In the trees, UR guesses the right side. He was on the left.
How? I don't think Yoar got the attack off on Weaver when he was midair. Like, that should just be a kill.
Yeah, it felt like less damage than it should have been for a combo, right?
He does have Vessel plus the raindrop, so maybe just tankier than we expected, but, like, that's a Echo Saber Shadowblade Tiny. I just thought for sure he would be able to take him down.
SG, though, have now shown, you know, like, it's unfortunate. They came so close. They blew both of their Spirit Vessel charges, so that hurts, but they did show that they can kill Leslau. Tavo. Try and catch LOA here. They're going to leave the Ogre behind, but 40R sandwiches, catches the Mirana. Any follow-up stuns could get the kill on MSS as well. They're going to pop the meta just to ensure this double kill. He gets caught. King Jungles finds him with the Rolling Thunder. They do have a dust. They're going to be able to Ravage, hold him in place, and a big kill on the carry. SG Esports win a big, big fight in the bottom lane.
Okay, well, I don't know what they did in between games, Cap, but I am impressed by the fortitude of this squad. Like, all I want to say, shout out to the supports, because Theolicor, I really think those courier kills, like, re-energized this squad. They lost all 3 lanes.
Yep.
Costabile is hard countered, and they are somehow outplaying QC. They have a 2K gold lead, and it feels like total control of the map now. I mean, that's a Scotty Terrorblade, bro.
Yep. Rush that Scotty.
Oh my, good luck, Leslau. Suddenly this Timbersaw's game got a lot harder.
Yep.
But I don't want to point fingers, but I mean, you said Quinn wasn't a Tinker player. This game, I really think he didn't have to even try too hard necessarily. Just like be a little damage assist, go farm, push lanes. It almost feels like he's tried too hard to be impactful, and now his net worth, like, he's below the Tidehunter.
Yeah. No, I think that is exactly what happens when you don't feel super comfortable on a hero. You either don't do enough or you try and do way too much, right? Just depends on the player. Like, I, for example, will always try and do way too much, ruin my game. And Quinn, you know, he has been a playmaker in the past, and it certainly feels like he's trying to make so many things happen, and it has stalled out his game. He's not going to have that Aghanim Scepter for quite a bit. Theolicor, though, is going to be found by UR. Tossed up, 100-0, not quite. Still at a solid 200 health left, and LOA wasn't close enough to hit the Fire Blast.
He has the Pupil's Gift.
Oh, yeah,
very
that's a lot of
tanky.
extra HP.
14 strength. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And Weaver does use a good amount of intelligence when you're a support, so.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Monkey King Weaver, I'm going to stand that the reason they're so damn strong is because they don't need boots. So they just straight up, buy these super useful items, and they're indestructible as well. What? Wait, whoa, Lotus Orb on the... Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Rushing it against the TB, that makes sense.
Yep. Deal with Spirit Vessel, good against Sunder. Might be able to help against the Yule Scepter of Adriano. SG getting a lot of, Theolacor getting a lot of vision of some heroes here, while the rest of his team is doing Roshan with this Solar Crest TB meta.
And the
Quincy
Pango.
crew are going to be very surprised, I think, when this one comes out.
This is such a great call by SG.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really feel confident, like, taking fights on Quincy's terms, right? Because to charge into a draft that has tiny Timbersaw Tinker is, like, impossible. But because you have this great Roche-taking lineup and the Solar Rush on Tavo, you just clean, what was that, 20, 30 seconds? Now Aegis gives you this huge edge because suddenly your Terrorblade isn't susceptible to just being ran at and killed off. TP's coming in. By the way, I think he's just going to buff tower? No.
Just going to make sure they cannot get to the Tinker.
Okay. The big timing is going to be the Aghanims on the Void Spirit, because then you can actually get on top of it.
Ooh, that was a lot of
whoa.
damage. The Silver Edge hit, 600 damage crit. It got him with the cleave. He pops the time lapse. They want to be able to catch some heroes here. The Moonlight Shadow is going to go out, but he already got the dust on him.
Theolacor's living on the edge, man.
Yeah.
This dude is playing with fire.
And it feels great. I feel like he's drawing so much attention from Quincy crew all the time.
Huh, JJ's maulding right now. Watching...
Talking about the empty slot on Tiny.
Yeah,
No
which was a
dust or
problem
anything.
for ADR actually in the last game on the Storm. Okay, we got him. I don't know, KJ a little lost up on that side of the river. Was he warding?
There is a ward on that high ground, but it's a little old, so. Doesn't seem like an Aghanim Scepter soon for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, that's big because suddenly you just kill off Quinn, right?
Yep.
And you interrupt that that rearm. One of the sillier things I think frustrates me about Tinker or OD Tinker TA is that like you can't really cancel rearm blink. Like it, I don't think it should rearm blink if you're taking damage. Like, but
Sure.
like it's so difficult, and I don't even know if it's possible. Hang on. They caught SVG.
Yeah, just another pick on SVG, LOA.
What? Okay, so 2 supports, 1 from each team have died in the same spot. But, yeah, so if you have quick cast blink, there's no way to stop a Tinker from blinking because you channel rearm and spam quick cast blink, and you're gonna blink every time because it's immediate refreshed, and there you go. So silence will obviously prevent that. But and maybe a Ravage. They really don't have too many other stuns. Of course, the Pango roll would be effective. MSS in some trouble.
Trying to root out some heroes here. They really wanted to be able to catch this Tiny who's been sitting here. Instead, they're going to run into MSS and do manage to get the bugs on him, so he's going to die. They've got vision of him.
I'm very surprised. If you look at Mojo's items, the Yules and the Medallion, I have not seen many Miranas skipping that sustain build, right? The mech, the pipe at some point, and I feel like Solar Crest makes sense, but I guess it's not a vessel game. But it's still odd to me to see him go for the Yules.
I can kind of see it just because they want to keep as much lockdown on heroes as possible, right? Like if he catches the Weaver or the Void Spirit and is able to Yule's Arrow, then like Tinker's gonna throw in some disables. But like the sustain build, if Tinker gets caught, there's no saving him, right?
That's true. And they do.
Oh, Quinn's
Whoa.
going to be found. The 2
The
supports
high
and
ground
40
ward.
are cutting in. A nice Tinker ward laid nice and offensively. Is going to be able to bring down Quinn, and here comes the tips.
I can't. Man, like, I mean, again, shout out KJ, but that is, like, that's a mistake you can't make, Cap. They saw that he bought Aghanims as well. They don't have meta for much longer, but they do have Aegis. But yeah, you're going to do some tier 3 damage here. You know that there's very, very low chance Tinker's playing with buyback.
Long range arrow, even as meta falls, SG continue their assault on the high ground because the most important hero for high ground defense is dead. Tinker, with his Aghanim Scepter, could really stall out this game. But they picked him off. Another 10 seconds. 10 seconds where arrow?
Okay.
It's a little awkward. He does have an
seconds.
Aegis, but even just slowing down the time he's hitting that building is good.
Oh
Ravage is going to go down. They're going to go for it here. Committing. They've already got the Ogre kill. Leslaw's a little bit low, but the Tinker is back, and they've got to be careful of this. That Aghanim Scepter is dangerous. It's already killed the Tidehunter. 40 yards, very low as well.
Okay, so couple interesting things. TB like running in, like no HP. Could have potentially finished off the racks, which unfortunately they went for both. So you now leave 2 racks at about half HP. It's almost certainly going to ensure that that Tinkerboard bottom is countered. Like Quinn knows, like that's how they found me. But what? Like I love the decision, right, to go for those 2 supports.
Think they can do this? 1200 HP. Timber Chain gets canceled. Bouncing back if they hit him a couple more times, maybe. But again, maybe. He's still back to 900. Uh-oh. Goes to Belay. Yules, arrow. Quinn's here. Laser, Yawar. If he can finish it off with the Avalanche, they've got him. A big, big pick off on SG's carry.
Wow. Wow, that was big.
SG, they've got to be like a little bit concerned now because they went from what should have been a guaranteed melee racks. He doesn't get hit by that arrow. They focus down that melee barracks. They don't go for a Ravage situation. They just take the building and back.
Yep.
They would have been really happy, but now they don't have that objective. They lost their carry.
And taking a Rax, especially against Tinker, is actually pretty huge.
Yeah.
Because it gives you that knowledge that this off lane is going to be covered for you. And it's also the most valuable Rax because it would drag Quincy as far away from Roche as possible. And that's really what you need if you want to go high ground in this kind of game.
You would know Tinker would be constantly trying to push out that bottom lane to give them Roshan control, which just means, well, you know where he's going to be.
Yep.
Great opportunity to get him picked off.
And 40R, 80R. Playing with fire.
Adriano. Always, he's inspecting the area. Tree inspector here. Don't mind me. Oh, he's gonna try and go for this pickoff, but he managed to get him. Yule Scepter, arrow again. Wait. Where's the arrow? Oh no, that TP wasn't gonna work. They found him, and they do manage to kill him, despite a slight bumble there.
And you can see, like, Quincy very shaky, but suddenly they've come alive, but at the same time, SG, man, they've kind of just given some gifts here. And it's like, it's October. We are not quite in the Christmas season. You have got to be a little more selfish. Channel your inner Scrooge, because right now, you're still out drafted in a sense, right? The win conditions are firmly in control of Quincy Crew, and now they've taken back the gold lead. Like, I was so impressed. Like, I couldn't believe how advantageous the position they found themselves was in. But, like, man, if you don't catch that arrow,
the 10 to 20 minute mark, they were so good.
They still haven't taken the outpost. They took a tier 2 like 5 minutes ago. They could have taken a Rax, and instead they've ceded map control. You don't have any wards up except for this one on the high ground, and you're going to be losing your lanes as Tinker Tiny just shove them into your buildings.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Speaking of outpost, MSS take that one. You are closing in on Blink Dagger. Any other item updates that are really big? BKB we already knew about on Costa Belay. He hasn't gotten anything new. Is Tavo going for a BKB on Tide? Is that what that is? Yeah, it is.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah,
tower
the
is
farther
under
this
attack.
Tinker
Are scanning.
gets into these scary items, the laser now with the ether lens.
He's just so far away in the fights. Like the one fight where he died to the roll,
Under attack.
like he was on the same screen. He's going to be playing so far back. Nice blink out.
And he's got so many frontliners too to give him space, right? Timber, Ogre, Tiny. Even Mirana in some way is going to be able to run interference for you with that Yule's arrow. So SG, they got to be really good in their positioning for these fights. They got to be a little sneaky, perhaps. sitting here underneath their ward, which has a sentry on it. They spot it now. They actually show that Costabile is here by killing that sentry.
That is a very tense part of the game. Next Roche is really the window, and it is up. You have the BKB Terrorblade. Maybe a free kill on LOA. Oh, bots too.
Tinker, okay. Bots too, but probably for the best that he decides not to TP onto the Ogre. A simple 5-position pickoff. Maybe more here. Actually, the Ravage are going to be blown here. They're going to try and 100-0, and they will manage to get him. Leslau gone. 60 seconds as well. What happened there? Because they got the kill on the Ogre. How did Leslau end up in the same spot?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I honestly looked away, Cap. I was like checking out Tinker's items and like, wait, what?
I think they assumed that SG was just going to go rush to Roshan.
Yeah.
And so they want to be able to contest that. So Leslau was like, okay, I'm going to go chase after them. Turns out SG was all just sitting there waiting. Nice read there, Theolacore. Even just spotting Yawar will do a lot for them in trying to finish up this Roshan. Defense Matrix on Yawar
God,
doesn't allow them. Oh, Theolacore runs right into him and he does get caught. Now he jumps in, looks for that Roshan. It's low. He pops a BKB. He looks to be able to cream Roshan and take the Aegis.
Take
It's on
Aegis!
the deck.
Somebody!
It's on the deck. Somebody grab it. Yawar gets it. He gets it and now turns around. He sees his opportunity. He says, okay, I've got the extra life and I've got the laser on my side. We're going to fight for this one. The Aether Remnant pulling him back. They do manage to get a nice jump in from KJ. Gives him a Sunder option. Costabile has a second life, but this Razor, it's creaming him. The laser is just too much for this Terrorblade. Double kill for Quinn. He had all the time in the world to throw spells.
Oh, Arcane Rune. Of all the moments to find an Arcane Rune. Oh, that Aegis stayed on the ground for so many beats. Like the dramatic pause. Unbelievable. What
Radiant's middle tower
is even happening? They didn't have Timbersaw for that fight.
Yeah.
And poor
Radiant's
so he
middle
has the
tower
Satanic
has fallen.
to remove laser that first time. But
Sure.
he used it like early and was blinded immediately after and ends up just going down.
Yeah, we're seeing this counter pick. Again, Quinn may not have looked the most comfortable in the first 20 minutes, but now that he's got his Aghanim Scepter and Aether Lens, it's a lot easier to play this Tinker, and it's a full-on counter. They're going to be able to get the toss back onto Tavo, and this damage coming from these two. The Tinker, the percentage-based damage mixed with a heavy hitter like Tiny. Nobody is safe on SG.
Yeah, and it all started like Theolacore. I respect you. You have been playing so well, creating so much space, but he just missed like. There's always, Cap, 100% of the time in that scenario, there will be a sentry placed by Dire on that high ground, and if you invis on the low ground in range of it, with a Tiny in the game, a Tinker, like you're going to die, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it felt like they were just so set. Maybe even a little panicky on getting that Roshan, right? As you said, the Timbersaw was dead. They could have just gone back for that fight. We'll watch it again. The jump in here.
Dude, Ogre's dead. This was a 3-on-5.
Yeah.
The Ogre was still dead.
Yawar finally got his hands on it. You could see Costabile even dropping his
Where's
item to
40R
try
in
and
that
grab
fight?
the Aegis.
Like 40R, he goes for MSS, and yes, you find the kill, but he had to get Quinn.
Yeah.
Like man, ADR. That hurts. Like that's just terrible target selection. I was wondering because Quinn is just free casting that whole fight. We talked about the importance of the Aghanim Scepter. He has a Yules. Like you shut down Tinker, you win that fight. It is 5-on-3.
Is under attack.
Talk about scoring a goal shorthanded. Like they got Aegis. Oh man.
This Terrorblade, he can win man fights against to carry Tiny, but not with Tinker in the game. Not with this laser constantly bouncing around, killing his illusions, making him blind, taking away percentages of his HP. Yeah. 16-13, 7,000 net worth lead for Quincy crew. Feeling very good. A faked out Ravage. Tavo popped his BKB and faked the Ravage and actually forces the BKB from Yawar. A small win, which SG are going to try and escalate here. They say no BKB on the timing. Let's smoke out. Let's try and surprise Quincy crew here.
Smoke popped.
They almost ran into ooh, Quinn. He's going to be able to jump in. The Ravage going down. They are going to be able to catch this Tiny. And KJ, he managed to lock down the Tinker for a second here. Where's Adriano, though? They need a little bit more help on this one. He's chaining around. Tavo's now dead, but Costabile, he's arrived. So is Adriano. They get on top of the Quinn. The Tinker's now dead. That means Costabile has a chance to be able to carry this fight, as the Tiny doesn't do enough damage to him. He turns around, whops one onto the Ogre. A few more hits. That should be enough. Oh, now they've caught Leslau as well. He's tanky, though. Yuar's back into it, though.
The Thunder!
But the Thunder
goes on!
Goes to be like turning around. Gets the kill onto Yuar. He's dead. Now they can keep marching forward. There is no buyback on Quinn or Yuar. SG, if they get even more out of this, would be so massive. Blink away just in time from MSS.
Oh my god, dude. Somebody, win or lose, somebody buy KJ lunch today. So, the 5-position Pango is somehow the one who finds Quinn. Ravage, not close. Void Spirit, off somewhere in the ether. But it's KJ, 4 times stunning Tinker. The only reason they come alive in that fight. They go for the kill, but they just don't finish it. What a... Quincy crew, talk about playing risk of it. Like, that's a huge risk they took. And hang on.
The arrow jumps in, 40R. BKB activated by Costabile. They're going to deal with 2 supports very easily.
What?
They were so afraid of giving away 1 lane of barracks. They wanted to stop this. But it's possible here that SG just keeps on going forward.
But Aghanims, though, that's so much damage onto the TB.
Yeah, it is. It's too much. It's too much. Costabile, he doesn't have BKB. That's not the place to TP out.
Oh, it was a bait!
Maybe they baited him in. The Ogre's certainly dead for it, but I'm not sure how much they could do here. The Tinker is alive. They've got to get out of here. Tavo pops a BKB, turns around quickly. Quinn blinks away before he's hit by the Gush. Got to be careful. And Leslau, he should be able to chase down Tavo. No problem. The rest of SG do manage to disengage. But again, look at those buildings.
Oh, wait. Oh, the catapult. Oh, one more.
No. Here comes the Lucor. He's going to go for it before backdoor protection is up.
Oh, the illusion.
Oh, the illusion. They get it.
The Olafort. Dude, this game is... This is unbelievable. You can feel like, look, this is a much better game than the first.
Yeah.
In terms of player performance, but...
You can still feel the mistakes.
Yeah, like
you can still feel the bumbling, the fumbling, the nervousness that is in this game, because this is the difference between being able to have a chance at TI and just being eliminated before you get the main stage. Quinn is going to be caught! Yule Scepter, Aether Remnant, pull him back in. The rest of the team is on the way, and here it is. King Jungles is here, baby. Rolling Thunder 1. Doesn't need a second one. Maybe can catch up to MSS as well. And one more leap charge to be able to get to the low ground. Slowing him down, and they've got him. That's a gem on the deck as well. Quincy crew is beginning to fall apart.
Oh my god.
The courier? Okay. They get the courier. The gem's dropped again. Theodore grabs it. Whew. They have to defend against a Terrorblade with no Tinker.
Oh my god. I'm like... What?
Somebody on Quincy crew needs to call a timeout and just reset.
Talk about needing a strategy pause.
Leslau is left to try and hold again with his Aghanim Scepter. It may be the only reason Quincy crew is okay here. Is if they can somehow keep them back with this double chakram going on.
They're afraid of the buyback. Look at this, just the gatekeepers. The 2 whirling winds.
Satanic pops so he can get to full health. Goes through the chakram. Leslau has to reposition them. He gets low enough. Yuar might just all in for it.
Has a flank.
He's getting close. There he goes. BKB activated. Costabile is going to be a little bit low, but the Ravage should be able to cover him in an instant. Turnaround Sunder onto Theodore to make sure he's back up to full health. KJ hits Yuar once. Doesn't hit him into that second time, though. Bumps into him. Yule Scepter. Yuar is going to break this Tidehunter. 5 seconds till the Tinker's back up. Once again, SG needs to be able to retreat, but Yuar, he's not going to let him go. He does manage to get the toss back. The Lotus Storm toss back. And now the Yule Scepter to be able to stop the TP away. Oh, no. Costabile. He gets scythed. He's now dead. SG. Once again, they get a lane of barracks, but they do lose the team fight for it.
Dude, the writers this season in Game of Thrones are just unbelievable. They really know how to keep it dramatic. Why? What? Like, how did 40R like get tossed in like the Lotus toss? Like so he's just getting attacked and dying because he's in the air.
He got tossed into Terrorblade, and the Lotus Orb was on Terrorblade, so it reflected toss, which still was on 40R back into Quincy Crew. So it was a double disable. Look at this tiny little Q Roshan. He's adorable.
Okay. Man, by the way, we're blessed to have JJ observe, thank goodness, because the viewing experience is incredibly heightened, but I've never seen him so animated. He's like pulling out his hair. I can't believe what he's watching. This is nuts. Remember what is at stake here. SG, they lose this, they're likely mega last at TI-10. No shot in the playoffs. Quincy, they're trying to make sure they don't face that fate because it's realistically one of these two teams that we will not see in the bracket stage. They will not get a chance to play on the main stage.
Yeah,
and
it's the difference. 50K or 500K plus, right? You could just manage to win that best of one.
This is a $500,000 series, actually.
$500,000 series, and again, maybe even more. Right? Like just getting the opportunity to play. You win that best one, you go up to 9 through 12.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're talking millions.
Yeah.
And that is why you're watching a Dota game. Dota is naturally a game of errors. That's just the way it is. But this is why TI is so special because the money just is a representation of pressure, of putting these players under the gun, putting them in the brightest spotlight and seeing what they're made of.
And it's also just a massive, like, the difference, it's like playing in the tournament versus not playing in the tournament, right? That's huge. But money-wise, you know, it's 500K. To make that up, to make another 500 extra, you'd have to get all the way to 7th.
Yeah.
You'd have to win, what is that, 2 series in the bracket?
I forgot the escalation from 16th to 12th was not very much. BKB almost complete for Adriano. A late BKB, which would allow him to just kind of dive into the Tinker. And it's going to be all up to these two players, I think.
Yes.
A lot of it is going to be maybe King Jungles as well.
And I will say, Quinn, he does not have his own BKB. So he is still 100% your target.
Yeah.
And you're just gunning for him. That's the name of the game for SG. Just kill the Tinker. You got to be cautious, though, because Yawar is a big boy. And he's now got plenty of damage to wreak some havoc all by his lonesome. And Leslau, like, Quinn's actually, like, by far the lowest net worth core on his team. That's kind of wild. He's still going to be your target just because of how much control and damage mitigation he offers. But, like, this Timbersaw is actually enormous. He has his own BKB, the Spell Prism, soon to be a Shiva's.
Yeah, you want to talk about, like, again, seeing what these players are made of? Leslau has been a rock for Quincy Crew this series. He has been holding it down for them despite the errors that have been made. He is keeping them in the game, helped them win game 1, has been keeping them alive game 2.
I can.
They're going to go rolling out. Yawar, not going to take any chances. Blinks away the moment there's any sign of danger. The map is getting real small for SG, bit by bit, despite the fact that they're the ones with who have taken buildings. They're the ones with super creeps on their side. The advantage of Tinker means that all these lanes are getting pushed in. And that now means BKB complete if Quinn wants to buy it out.
That's a tough choice, right? Buyback or BKB?
Yeah, because even if you don't activate the BKB fast enough, he could get chains done by the Pango, right? He could deal with the Void Spirit, but the Pango might be able to just stun him for 5 seconds plus.
And now the big thing. Okay.
Smoking up to the high ground, Quincy Crew start knocking on the buildings real quick, trying to force SG into some sort of reaction. SG is going to cut out from the side. They're TPing back as well. Goes to Belay. Invisibility breaks the smoke on LOA. They do take a ranged barracks here. A defense matrix, 4,240 HP Tiny. Carry Tiny.
Yep.
Not easy to bring down. King Jungle's out of position, gets caught. A gem That was probably Mojo's, if I had to guess.
KJ, the game state has changed significantly for our Pangolier. Like, he's absolutely balling out.
Oh, no,
but
that was KJ's. Oh, the gym.
yeah, he feeds now. Like, not as in, like, he just can't do that. If he's not, like, even in a roll form, he's going to die in 2 hits from your war. You just got to be so cautious now.
Again, we're talking about his importance in being able to stop the Tinker, and the Tinker is important because that stops the Terrorblade.
Yep.
It's all this chain reaction. So he's got to value his life a whole lot more.
And okay, so power spike wise, a big edge right now for Quincy is they have 3 level 25s, right? You've got the 2 tosses, you got a little bit of extra laser damage, and then your Timber Saw suddenly has a timber chain from across the map, okay?
JJ, can we check out Thea Lepore? Because I know he was building an Aghanim Scepter. How close is he
He's
to
far.
that? He's away. He's 2,000 gold still.
Now, the huge thing, Void Spirit level 25. Dissimulate stuns for 2 seconds. The best talent in Dota, really. It's so good.
Insane.
It also pierces BKB, if I'm not mistaken. It's just not listed in the tooltip, correct?
We talked about this last time, and I was like, that sounds crazy. Breaking the Tiny. Stun 1. King Jungle's going to be able to bounce back and forth. It's so hard to be able to get out of this. They're going to Ravage to cover it. It doesn't hit anybody on Quincy Crew, but they do get a silence onto the Tinker. Tinker's in trouble. He's getting run over. Quincy Crew have to leave him for dead. They both have buyback.
What the?
But you have to assume that SG is going to force it out of them. 1 minute and 40 seconds until Roshan can spawn. So there's nothing else to do but try and take this objective.
What happened?
I mean, he's just stunned forever.
Just standing on the hill? Like,
He's trying to force reactions.
he did. He certainly forced a reaction.
Yeah. And SG, they reacted very well. I mean, whenever you push over that area, it's a dream for Rolling Thunder. You can just bounce back and forth between the 2 walls. He's so close to being able to buy back and have BKB on the Tinker. SG.
They're 1 racks for Megas.
They're
going to
one
force
racks
buys
for
here.
Megas. They certainly are going to force buys.
Leslau trying his best.
Quincy Crew have to know that they're going to have to buy back if they want to stop this. Are they willing to give up Megas potentially? They use the glyph. They pop it early.
Okay. It's getting tight.
SG, they force that out of him. Now's the chance. They're going to go straight up for Leslau first. Leslau is dead. The buyback's still being held by Quincy Crew. They have no glyph. Now the buybacks come in. Mega's still not taken just yet. 40R is in deep. Tinker has already been used up in the air. 40R TP's out. SG.
They out?
They forced the buybacks, and they got everybody out.
He found him. He uses him and gets everybody away. Oh my god, how many? Okay, they saved the buyback on Yawar. Dude, I am literally shaking. I am literally shaking. Oh my god. Like, there's so much at stake, and I just don't even know what in the hell is going on, Cap. Like, I've been in this situation, you know. I know what it's like to lose in this kind of situation. And a lot of the time, what beats you is just yourself. This game is going to be won. Even here, it's like no gold event whatsoever. And yeah, you've got 5 racks on the side of SG, but it's still anybody's game. And Quincy, they're just in.
They're in. They're in. They're going to force this. They're going to try and go for Tavo, but Tavo gets off the BKB. The second toss is actually get up on the side. The side, they've got the Timber. He's dead.
He's got buy.
He's going to be able to buy back. Tavo's still going to get caught potentially here. They see him 1,300 damage coming from Yawar. Okay. That's a lot of damage right there as Quincy Crew find the opening and might secure Roshan. It's not actually going to come up for 50 seconds. They're going to buy back on SG. They don't want to give this Roshan.
But there is no Roshan.
They don't want to give it to the Quincy Crew, but they don't know if it's up or not.
Oh, the arrow. He did not see that one. Refresher ready on TB. No buyback. Everybody's all in. Okay, so Yawar has buy and ADR has buy. They're the players that are going to need to be aggressive. Somebody just used Refresher. I think Quinn just used Refresher Shard.
Okay.
I heard the sound. Oh, maybe it was just like the sound. I have no idea. Don't listen to me. Watch the game. No Roche yet. Soon.
both of these
Okay,
teams.
25 on Void Spirit though, so you have the dissimulate stun. It's a lot easier to kill Tinker now if you
Yep.
can catch him before BKB.
They also have the Aghanims time lapse on Theodore.
Ooh, that's
level
big.
25 on Costa Bile as well. They can bail somebody out. They can bait somebody
Yawar?
even. Yawar.
Hello.
They're going to run into him. BKB activated instantly, but the Scotty is slowing him down. That's a little bit of a problem. He needs to retreat back to the high ground. They will. SG, are they going to charge forward? Tavo certainly wants to. Look at him blinking forward like that. Quinn needs to be able to keep his distance. Leslau putting himself in front now.
Baiting with the Lotus, asking to get hexed.
Goes to Bile. Uses that one silver edge hit with toss number 1, toss number 2.
Oh,
The BKB doesn't have the Ravage goes in. They do see Quinn, but he managed to get a D-arm away. He blinks out.
Oh,
they don't see him. They see him now. King juggles. He spotted him. Yule Scepter first. The Liquor is there as well. He goes down with the laser, but then goes to Bile's dead. They went for the Tinker, but they lost their carry, and now 4DR. All these heroes are low, but he can't do enough. He doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have his carry. SG. They tried so hard. They've been working at this for so long, but now there's 3 dead with no buybacks, and Quincy crew have a chance to grab a double damage and take the buildings to end the game and 2-0 SG.
Okay. No buybacks, Cap. No buybacks.
They have a buyback on UR too for Quincy crew, so they can just be really aggressive with this. I do not see how King Jungles and Adriano are going to be able to hold this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lift first, right away.
Radiant structures are
They're
fortified.
just going to go for base.
It's a double damage. They have to take it with the DD. That's smart. Yule Scepter onto the Tiny. That'll slow things down a lot, but it does cost King Jungles his life. Yule's arrow, he has a buyback. He's going to have to Rolling Thunder in soon. Yuar's just doing too much damage. Quincy crew, it's been a hard run for them in the group stage, but with this, they will be able to get the 2-0 against SG and by most circumstances keep themselves out of elimination. There is still one series to go for both of these teams. But Quincy Crew, in just a sweaty, sweaty game, do manage to win.
I have no idea what we just witnessed, Cap. That the last fight felt like the only, like that was like the real fight, and
Yeah.
it was just buttons being spammed. Okay,
Yeah.
like they baited their Terrorblade with no buyback. The strategy for initiation was we're just gonna dangle him, okay? And I know, like dangling can be a strategy at times, but with no buyback, like they got the perfect time lapse, but they just all end him. Like that
To
was
have
just
your
wild.
bait be your most valuable asset
Yes.
takes some serious cojones,
Yes.
and it did not pay off.
Yes, that's like a plot line in the action movie, for the final scene, but it's not necessarily recommended. Quincy crew, wow, oh my God.
So
What a
SG
series.
now, the only way to be able to re-tie it up with Quincy Crew after this series was they have to 2-0 Team Spirit,
Yeah.
and Quincy Crew has to lose both games against Team Elephant, which I believe is going to be the 3rd series of the day.
Yeah.
So both of these teams do have a break. It's going to be an incredibly difficult road where they have no power in their hands, but SG are certainly going to try.
I wish them luck. I mean, even if they end up eliminated here, they balled out. This was just one of those series. Don't know if the best Dota of your lives was played here today, but there's always next series. Keep your head up. I think it's quite likely Quincy Crew, they're going to be playing Elephant. Elephant must win if they want to have any hopes of upper bracket. Quite possible Quincy Crew gets 2-0'd.
Yeah.
SG, you want to stay in this tournament? Go 2-0 Spirit.
And then you get a
Get one
tie
more shot.
against Quincy Crew, and you get one chance, one best of one, to be able to get yourself into the TI playoffs. It is
I need to lie down.
crazy, crazy day. The last day of the TI group stage is always insane, and there are going to be a lot of games like this where the pressure begins to break some people. And we're just along for the ride
Bro,
and
I'm
the
broken.
entertainment. We're going to take a break. we've got more series coming up. 2 more series on each stream is going to be coming up. So be sure to stay tuned for more of the International 10.